Welcome, Jack.
You need to get a straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought that through.
Thank you for the resub, Blue Jay. 5-month resub. Awesome. Appreciate that very much. So, we're back. I'm back in the DM chair. I do still sound a little funny because I don't have my bottom teeth in. I had a few issues over the last couple of days, and I've had to go back to the dentist and back under a scalpel to have part of my gum cut open, and the jawbone ground down with a fucking grinder. That was not fun. But everything is healing nicely. So it's just delayed the healing process a little bit. But we're going to do this anyway. I did consider potentially postponing for another week, but I thought, no. We've had a couple of weeks off, and I really want to get back into the show. I want to get back into the Tomb. I know these guys are raring to get back into the Tomb of Horrors as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know you are. You just love it. You love it so much. So yeah. Curse of Strahd is back on Thursday morning next week as well. So if you are around for that, it'd be cool to see you guys there. Gaming's all back next week as well, and hopefully I won't have to take much more time off with all my issues with my teeth and stuff. So, but we should be good. So, without further ado and delay, let's get into our recap. I have posted in the Skype chat the 2 clues you guys received in the start of the Tomb. So we'll pick up pretty much just quickly recapping over the last episode, which was some time ago. But as Het entered the room and the 4-armed gargoyle animated and stepped forward, you all prepare yourselves for the battle. Ali hangs back as the rest move forward to aid Het. Sadiq joins Het and attacks the beast, dealing significant damage. Fiala then joins the fray, transforming into Fiala Bear, attacking the creature also. The beast then strikes out against Sadiq and Fiala, dealing nasty, deep wounds, causing them both to bleed heavily. Excuse me, I will be swallowing a lot, guys, just so you know. Lots of excess saliva, it sucks. Ellie then joins the battle, but with poison coursing through her veins, she does not seem to be able to hit the creature. The creature then suddenly becomes immobile once again, due to Sadiq's ability causing some irreparable psychic damage. The collar then once removed and placed around the Fiala Bear's neck, Sadiq finding a small piece of parchment which revealed yet another clue within the tomb walls. You decide to start searching and checking around the doors you have found in this room. You finally discover a secret panel of sorts, and discover the secrets leading to a bunch of 10x10 rooms. Spending time in these rooms seems to have triggered some form of trap, you guys taking some small amounts of damage from darts being shot from the ceilings. A little bit of initiative, have Sadiq and Het remove a door to use as cover as you proceed forth and move forward through these rooms, finding each room secret and progressing further still into the tomb itself. After some time, you come to yet another room, this time with a door at the end. This door is different than what you've seen before. It had 7 piano-like panels inlaid into the door. Het and Fiala both decide to press the 1st and 7th panel, triggering yet another trap. The door then collapses and the wall surrounding it collapses inward, causing significant damage to both Het and Fiala. This doorway, now in tatters and ruins, leads to another long painted corridor, very similar to the corridor you found when you first entered. And this is basically where we rejoin the lines of Valand and our story, and episode 41 of Paradigm Bold. So, ladies and germs, you find yourselves now at this broken entrance to another long painted corridor which, see if this is going to work. If you look at my cam on Twitch, you will see pretty much this is what you see. You're coming in at the top here. As you look down the room and sort of step into the room, you just see, again, painted tiles, a couple of doors on the opposite side. It's almost the same length as the first hallway, and at the very end is another opening. Can't really quite make out. It's not like brightly lit, but there's enough light here for you to see. On the walls, yet again, is yoink, back to me. On the walls, you see once again painted with figures of animals and strange signs and glyphs. Humans and non-human-like creatures posing with spheres of all manner of colors. The spheres are two-dimensional. It's a little bit unusual, but that's what you see as you enter the room.
When you say two-dimensional, are they on the walls? Are they like picture frames?
Kind of. They almost protrude from the wall a little bit, but not so much as that they're fully round and three-dimensional. But they're definitely on the wall. As you sort of move in and look, sort of inspect a little bit closer, you sort of look at it, and that doesn't hold in that third dimension, but it definitely sets itself apart from the wall itself.
Not attached to the wall in any way, floating off the wall or on the wall itself?
If you move in to inspect sort of the first one, which will be sort of right at the top of that room there.
Yes, Hit will do that. Hit will inspect the first one without touching it.
First one you sort of look at, it's pale blue, and it's sort of the figure that's holding it, it's sort of held at shoulder height. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be attached to the wall. It sort of doesn't seem to be floating either. It's kind of a weird kind of look to it. It's definitely not three-dimensional. You can't sort of reach around and sort of, you can't sort of reach out and grab it. It's definitely not that kind of thing, but it's sort of setting itself apart from the wall somewhat. So do you want to sort of have it sort of walk the length of the room and have a look at each orb, or are you sort of focusing on one sort of orb at this point?
Hit was just focusing on the first one. Hit is reluctant to walk further down the line.
Okay, so what you currently see directly across from this hole in the wall now that you were standing at, the one that's closest to you, which is on the same side that you are, which is on looking, if you were looking sort of down the hallway, would be your left, is the pale blue orb held at the shoulder of this humanoid creature that's painted on the wall. Turning around and looking over to the opposite wall, you see a golden orb held high overhead of the creature that, which is again humanoid but not human, painted on that wall. It's held higher up, about 2 feet down next to the one you're looking at. There's a silver one which is sort of lower at the wall, again across the other. There's just all the way down as you sort of peer down this hallway. It's just a range of different colored orbs on both sides.
Any ideas, guys?
None whatsoever.
Yep.
These orby things. So there's multiple colors. How many colors do they repeat a pattern?
Doesn't really look like it. From what you can see, just quickly glancing around, you got on your side as you look down, pale blue, then a silver. Then there seems to be a bigger gap, then a green one, then a yellow one. One further down looks pink. Looks like it might be a black one, or further down still. Looking across the other side, you've got a gold one first, then an orange one, then that first doorway, then a purple one, and then another door. then maybe what sort of say maybe a bronze one, and it seems to be just no sort of discernible pattern, just a range of different colors across across this color spectrum.
So
Oh, sorry. You go.
hits at the first orb, yes.
Yes. Well, you're all kind of standing in the doorway, unless someone's moved fully into the room.
Not a chance.
I was thinking about going to check out the gold orb, to be honest.
Go for it.
Are
I'll watch you from here.
Are they all at like different heights? Each color at a different height,
It,
or is
it
it
appears to, yeah.
like
I mean,
a reoccurring type?
repetition.
pattern?
No, well, there seems to be. Most of them appear to be sort of random. There's no sort of no real discernible pattern from where you're standing.
Inari, are you thinking with the gold of the other clue we had?
Yes.
Look low and high for gold.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's any doorways or archways in here. Can we see anything? Any other exits or entry points?
You're going to need to mute yourself when you're not talking, Nutty.
I
Getting-
wasn't talking.
Yeah, but once you stop, getting a lot of
my
interference.
squeaky chair.
No, I think it's the.
Static.
I think it might be the. Condition.
Ah, okay. Sweet.
There is well, not so much an archway, but there is right at the very end of the hallway. There's another kind of doorway almost. It's quite a way down, so you can't really tell.
I'm gonna go like tap on Alessandra's back and there. There you go, thief. Go see if there's any traps.
You're just so kind.
That's what they
Alright.
call me, Sadiq the Kind. Yeah, no,
That is a good one.
What you mean, Sadiq? Yes.
yeah, no. Sadiq the Orc, Sadiq the Killer, Slayer.
I'll go with ass.
Yeah, okay.
Stick kind of fluffy. No.
All right.
A warm and fluffy one. Sit there with my
So-
sword.
No one's actually gone in past the doorway, have they?
You have now because I've knocked you into the.
Apart from me.
I was.
Well,
kind of
Het was standing in
about it.
Het was standing in the start of the corridor. Like he hadn't fully gone any further down, like 5 or 10 feet in.
Yeah,
Just
Ted was
basically
in
standing
front of
at
the first orb.
Blue
Okay,
orb.
So he's standing in front of the first orb.
Which is on the wall closest to you as you've entered the room.
So I'll check the immediate area for traps.
Roll investigation.
That is a good use of your skill.
No, it's not.
What was your roll?
Okay, so I've got a 7, but it was a natural 1.
crap.
Ooh, first natural one of the night guys.
Sometimes I really don't like this roller. Although Ali's rolls are normally shit anyway.
I know, just pretty shit house, but so it's the first natural one of the night guys. So yeah.
You're the Will Wheaton of the party.
Oh wow. Oh, that's awesome. So with that roll, you look around and you sort of, after your previous experiences in the first few rooms of this tomb, you're kind of reluctant to touch anything. So you're just kind of just having a quick look around. You look like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not really. You're a bit hesitant. And
I'll go with that.
you, as far as you are aware, yeah, there's no traps.
Hey, that bottle looked yummy.
It sure did.
Cool. No traps, guys.
Oh, okay. Well,
Just keep on looking.
Het continues halfway down the corridor, knowing that it is safe because Ali said so.
oh no.
And I'll follow Het, and I really want to check out that golden orb thing.
Het is
It's not
thinking the
really
same.
the golden circle, because if it's 2-dimensional, it's not.
Well, the
really-
golden orb is right at the very start, pretty much directly opposite the door where you guys came in.
Okay. Can I go and check it out, please?
Go check it out. What are you specifically checking out? You're gonna touch it? You're gonna look at it? What are you doing? Specifically, what are you doing?
I want to touch it.
You want to reach out and touch the golden orb?
Yeah.
You sure?
Reach out and touch
No,
me.
but yeah. There's no traps. Ellie's checked for traps. So
Yeah, exactly. No traps.
So Inari is reaching out to touch the golden orb.
Yep, she's reaching out to touch golden orb.
Okay. Make a quick dice roll here.
And she loses her hand again. Shit.
As Inari, as you walk up to the golden orb, which is held high overhead of this figure in this wall,
Yep.
you reach up and you touch your hand onto the front of the orb.
Yep.
And you nothing happens. No. What you guys see as you watch Inari, she reaches up and sort of touches this orb, expecting to find purchase and a wall. She stumbles forward and disappears.
Does anyone have more clothes?
Again?
No, I've got the feeling that that's a hidden doorway.
Oh.
Inari, as you stumble forwards, falling to your knees, what you see in front of you is a tunnel of sorts.
Okay.
Not big enough to stand up in. We sort of stumbled forward was almost like a doorway, but then it sort of dropped off about 2.5 feet and literally dropped you to your knees as you step forward because you weren't expecting it.
Okay.
And you see a little crawl space.
I'll relay that information to the guys because I'm guessing they can't. Well, I
Well,
wouldn't.
they can't see you. You've disappeared.
Well, I'll yell out to them. Hey, look, can you guys see this? There's a thing. There's a tunnel here. Tunnel?
But yeah, it is kind of a tunnel.
There's kind of a tunnel here, guys.
Should we follow?
Can we hear her?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
You,
making
you,
sure.
you can't see it,
Do
but you can
still
hear
have-
it.
Do you still have all your equipment?
My bow and these.
Your common clothes, yes. Yes, you still have all of the things you went through the wall
Okay.
with, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go.
All right.
Go through.
It
I stick my
follows.
sword through first because it's emitting light, which means I'll be able to see.
And yes, Inari, you take 1 point of damage as Sadiq stabs you with a sword, not knowing where you were.
Ow!
Get the hell out of the way of it.
You're behind me.
It's a
Wow.
light sword. Like you'll see it slowly come through. Why the hell didn't you get out of the way? All right.
Ow.
Well, the fact that she's facing the opposite direction of where the sword's coming, so yeah, she wouldn't have seen that.
Lesson learned. So there you go. So what do we see? How actually high is the tunnel type?
It's basically a crawl space. Like you won't be able to stand up in it at all. I mean, even Het would probably struggle with his bulk to crawl down it. He'd make it, but it'd be a tight squeeze.
Het
Ah.
is struggling with my bulk. Oh, I said my. Het is struggling with Het's bulk.
Het,
He's tight in
did
this
you-
tunnel.
So I'm assuming with that, everyone's going to move into this crawl space and just follow Inari.
Yeah.
I mean, is Inari moving forward? This is the thing. Are you going to follow this crawl space,
I
or
will follow the crawl space and I'll kind of prod with it. I'm going to take an arrow out of my pack.
Knee.
And I'm just going to prod the ground as I go.
okay? Roll a investigation check for me.
I'll bring up the rear.
Yes, you will.
Het's bringing up the rear.
No, I'll bring up the rear.
Het gets stuck. You're going to be stuck there.
I can turn around at least.
21.
21. Yeah, you move forward without too many hassles and sort of poking. You can't really see anything. There's a bit of light behind you from Sadiq's sword. I mean, you can sort of see, but not really with the shadow of you being in front, obviously. But you keep moving forward, and it goes. The tunnel sort of twists one way and then twists back the other way, and about 20 or 30 feet. Then you come to the end of the tunnel, and you sort of put your hand out, or you arrow touches solid earth. There sort of doesn't seem to be any way through. Not that you can see right now.
Okay, I'm gonna try poking up.
Poking up. So you sort
Yeah.
of turn your head and sort of poke the arrow upwards, and no, it's just directly above you is solid stone.
So it's a dead end.
Well, eventually, as far as you know, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
How far down the tunnel are we?
Inari's probably 30 feet. You guys are all sort of probably I'd say within 5 feet apart. So here, I mean, if Alessandra was bringing up the rear, she's probably only about 10 feet into the tunnel at the other end.
With all Hit's gear on, is Hit getting stuck?
What do we roll for that? Roll athletics.
Oh dear. That will be... 16, that's not too bad.
No, you're finding it a little tight. Like every now and again, you sort of feel a little claustrophobic, but for the bulk part, you're not doing too bad. So Nari, what are you doing?
I'm gonna look around because I'm guessing obviously I don't have any torches or anything on me. Nothing
Well,
to light up.
Siddiq's behind you. You've got a
Okay,
little bit
so
of
I've
light
got
there.
I've got good dark vision.
Yeah, so you'll be able to
So-
see reasonably well.
So I'm gonna have a good look around and see if I can find any kind of, I suppose crevices or.
Roll
does it-
perception. Roll perception check.
Okay. 19.
Yeah, after a little bit of sort of poking around and feeling around, you do feel a bit of a seam, which looks like might be like a cover stone or something at the end of this tunnel.
I'm going to attempt to open it.
Strength check for me.
Okay. Shoddy strength check. Oh, a natural 1.
Sadiq.
Another one.
So you give this thing a bit of a push. So yeah, no, that's just not budging. You just can't.
Damn that shoulder.
Your shoulder is really still quite sore, and you can't put any physical strength behind it.
I'm gonna. Who's directly behind me?
That would be Siddiq.
Question. So she's what? Within 30 feet of me?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to hear what's going on at this point because you're right at the back. So
I'm
you
just
probably
gonna
wouldn't even be able to see what's going on from where you are.
squidge into one side of the tunnel as far as I can. And say to Sadiq, look, can you have a go? There's something there, but can you just have a go?
For Sadiq to get past you, being his half-orc bulky self, even though you're an elf and you're probably quite slender, you would have to.
How tall is it?
You're all on your hands and knees. It's not tall. This is a crawl space, but it's not very big. I would say that you and Sadiq would probably be able to pass by each other, but it would be like a bit of a shimmy thing. You'd have to get really close to each other and
Okay,
sort of scoot past each other best you can. It would take a little bit of an effort.
I'm gonna drop flat on the ground and say you're gonna have to climb over me.
Yep, that'd work.
Yeah.
You'd still have to make. What kind of roll would you make for that? Holy crap!
Probably athletics or
Dexterity?
Acrobat.
Acrobatics or athletics, you decide.
Except for the same for both of them.
Actually, no, don't even roll. I'm gonna get away.
No.
I'm gonna say that you guys can do that. I mean, it's gonna be a squeeze and it's gonna take a little bit of time.
So
But,
elbow in the face.
Roll a d20 for me, Sadiq. Just a straight d20.
My face.
No, his elbow.
Oh, I've still got the arrow in my hand.
Yeah, so just roll a
That'll be
d20.
an 18.
An 18? Yeah, you. She flattens herself out and sort of pushes herself as far to one side as she can, and you just shimmy forward. Your armor gets caught in her clothes a little bit, and it's sort of, you sort of tug yourself free, and it takes you about 10 or 15 minutes for you guys to work in unison to scoot past each other. Sadiq, you are now in the lead, and Ari, you're directly behind Sadiq.
I'm gonna try to lift up this.
You can try and lift it, push it, whatever. You can just try and open it.
Yep.
So that will be a strength check on your behalf.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, without too much effort, you sort of give it a bit of a thump with your fist, and then you think, oh yeah, and you double palm it, and it just pops forward, almost like a cork. It's sort of been half price, sort of popped in, sort of shoved into this gap, and you sort of, the rock drops forward and sort of scoots across the ground a little bit, and from where you are, Sadiq, with the light of your sword, you now see what looks to be like probably a 20 by 20 room, and in the corner is another one of these large mutated gargoyles, not moving. It looks like it has an arm missing, which is lying on the ground in front of it.
I'm gonna look back down the hallway and go, "Hey, pet, we've got another one of your friends in here."
Excellent. I am not going to squeeze over anyone like that. We're going to have to all...
Yeah, we're all gonna have to get out. Alright, so I'm
Except
gonna
the
go
hole.
out and kind of keep myself against the wall when I get out.
Into the room?
Move, yeah, go into the room, but
Okay.
stay against the wall.
Yeah, you'd be fine. You could move yourself forward. You step into the room, which, like I say, it's sort of, it's not as big as the other rooms. It's sort of 20 feet long by about 10 feet wide. It looked deceivingly bigger from where you were. But this gargoyle statue is immediately to your right as you exit the hole, and as you move, staying against the wall, moving towards the opposite side of the room, nothing happens. It doesn't seem to move. In fact, this thing looks more stone statue-like than the previous one did. So,
Sadiq,
are you all
does
moving
that
through?
concrete angel have a collar like the other one?
I don't know, does it?
No, it does
Yeah.
not.
It does not. No, it doesn't have.
Apart from the missing arm, does it have any other discernible features that doesn't look like the other one?
So as you guys all, we'll get everyone into the room. So if you guys all move into the room, you all notice that it's about 8 feet tall. One of its eyes is broken off and lying on the floor in front of it. Each of its hands looks like it will hold a gem of some sort. There's a small sort of concave in its arms, in its hands. The one on the ground, however, does not have such a carved depression in it.
Okay, what else? There's nothing else in this room, like
There's
no
nothing else in this
doorway,
room. Oh, no door.
This thing.
Just this statue. Let's say 3 of its hands have a depression, concave depression in each one of its hands.
Does the collar we have gems in it?
Certainly does.
That's-
It had
Ah.
10 bluish gems in it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Are the gems about the same size? Or
The
does it look
gems,
like it would be bigger.
it looks like it'd be about the same size, roughly. The gems probably aren't as big as the concave, but they would certainly fit there without too many hits.
Can we take the gems out of the collar or off the collar?
Certainly try.
I don't think this one, this collar's for this. It does, like, it could be one, but I don't think it'd be all of them.
True.
Yeah, so
I'll just check the area for hidden doors or something.
Roll investigation.
I'll try.
something.
Yeah.
Such confidence.
Yeah.
That really breaks down what you're looking for.
All right.
Yeah,
Looking
We've
looking for hidden
been-
doors, hidden levers, hidden
Yeah, roll investigation.
21.
This time you have a good thorough search, and yet you find nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this room has got something to do with something that we haven't found quite yet. And there goes Yoshi.
I reckon we should go back the way we came, seeing that's the only way we can go, and look at all those other orbs, see if there's hidden doors, crawl spaces, all the above.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a plan.
So you're going to head back to the main corridor?
Yes.
Yep. Well, I am.
So Alessandros heads back through the crawl space. Who else is heading back?
Het will stay where he is in the room with the gargoyle.
So who's leaving? Who's staying?
Who's holding the collar? Is it? I think Het's got it, doesn't
You
it?
were. Fiala was holding the collar.
I thought Fiala had it too.
Yeah.
It was around Fiala Bear's neck.
I'm gonna stick one of the gems out and put it in.
You're going to try and take one of the gems out of the collar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually seemed relatively easy to take the gem out of the collar, in fact. And you're going to put it where exactly? Into one of the hands?
Just into one of the sockets. Just to see if I hear anything.
As you take the gem and place it into the hand of this large stone gargoyle, roll a d20 for me.
Uh-oh. 15?
I just made you roll for fun. There's nothing in. No, as you place the gem into the gargoyle's hand, almost immediately, just as you get your hand away from the gem, the gargoyle's claws close around the gem and crushes it to powder in a single movement. Then the hand turns over and dumps the remains on the floor, then returns back to its original position.
Guys, how badly did you like that collar?
Does Ted still have his detect magic going?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it would have finished when he last cast it.
Because the collar wasn't magical, was it?
No.
Okay, well. Now I'm ready to.
All right, going back through that tunnel, have a look at the other.
So Fiala, you now see a pile of blue gem dust sitting just on the floor below the creature's hand.
Is gem dust used in spells by any chance?
You're not there, so you shush. You've already gone.
City's
Yeah.
still there, isn't he? Isn't City?
It's still there.
Oh,
No,
And
just
Ari's
Het.
still there. I think
And Ari-
Alessandros and Sadiq headed back towards the other room.
I would probably say, well, I would say it might be worth just picking that gem dust up. We might need it for something. Could be a reason that it did that.
all right. I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, what are you going to pick it up in?
Oh, I don't
It's
have
just
anything, do
it's
I?
just fine dust, fine gem dust. It's been crushed to a powder.
I'll rip a little bit off one of my sleeves of my top
Okay.
and make it into a little pouch.
You're going to tie it off.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Now what are you guys doing? You're going to stay, leave?
Crawl back up.
Yeah, because I tempted to go back and have a look and see if there's any more doors like this in any of the other ones.
Okay. So while you guys are doing it, are you going to stay or are you going to follow them?
Het is going to stay. There's not much room through the crawl space, and Het doesn't see the point of going back and forth 1,000 times. So Het will wait and see what verdict. And as he is waiting, he just wants to search this little space completely. The statue, especially around the back, around the sides, under its wings, under its pits, whatever it can search.
Perception, investigation. You're looking for anything particular or just a general check?
Looking for like switches or buttons or
Okay,
levers.
investigation.
Something like that. That is a 21.
And with that, you give it a good thorough search around the base, around the back of it, and it's a statue. There's no hidden levers or switches of any kind. It doesn't look like it moves at all, apart from you, now that it moved and crushed the gem, you can see that all three of its hands that have these same depressions in them have the ability to move at the joints, but that's about it. It seems magical in nature, but that's you with your knowledge, you seem to think that its purpose is exactly what it just did, is for crushing gems for whatever reason.
Het backs up to the opposite wall. He holds his hand up, traces a sigil in the air, and says, "Blast," and fires Old Vic's blast straight at it. Two shots.
Okay, roll to hit. Actually, you don't even need to roll to hit. Just roll damage. And it's not moving, so you can definitely hit it.
That is 7 damage.
And both blasts. Any particular area you're aiming for, or just straight into its torso?
Center mass.
Center mass. Both blasts find their mark relatively easily. Don't seem to do a lot of damage. A few bits of stone sort of fall from the inside of the wing. Chucks up a bit of dust. The room's been no one's been here for quite some time. But that's about it. Nothing really happens.
Het sits down at the entrance of the hole and waits for the others to make a decision.
So with that, Alessandros, you emerged back from the other side. Sadiq behind you. You're now back into the open room. A short time later, Inari and Biala both join you guys back into the main chamber.
Check the orb. It's the one that we came. The first one that was there.
The pale blue one.
Yeah.
You move up to the pale blue orb, and it's just a pale blue orb. Nothing. You touch the wall, and you just find wall. There's nothing there. Just wall.
So how many gold ones was there?
Looking down, sort of having a quick look up and down the corridors, the only gold one you can see is the one that you're standing next to. Kind of.
If no one has any objections, may as well just check them all.
I'm going to go over to one that is at the lowest point and check that one.
Okay, so from where you're standing as you exit this crawl space and back into the main room, you can see 2, in fact, that are actually 3 from where you are, that are at the feet level, if you will, almost just above ground level. On the same side as the Golden Orb, just on the opposite side of the doorway that you can see on that wall, there's a purple one, and that's at foot level. Another couple down from that, there's a bright blue one also at feet level, and on the opposite wall there is a black one at foot level. Appears to be another couple at feet level further down too, but you can't really tell what colour they are from where you are.
Well, I'm going to look at all of them and see what colours they are.
So you move forward, and you find the first one you find is a purple orb. It's about foot level. Do you want to touch it? Just look at it. You touch it. You find wall. Nothing happens. It's your hand passes through the illusionary orb, and you find solid wall. You move down to the bright blue one, which is on the same wall. Same thing. Nothing. As you've gotten close to that one on the same wall, right down the very end, you see a pale green one at foot level as well. Do you want to check that out before switching walls?
Yeah, check that one.
Same thing. You investigate that, and nothing. It's just wall. You then cross over to the opposite wall, and you find another one which is sort of arcane in color, and again, nothing happens. You move to the black one, however, and as you pass your hand through it, it passes through, and into the wall. Once again, if you step forward, reveals another crawl space.
Hey, Ali. That one seems to go somewhere. You want to check it out?
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Or Welshane bore you for it, and I'll go first.
Fine.
Both you roll d6.
Him
5.
first.
5,
6.
6. So the first Rochambeau, Alessandros wins. Scissors beats paper. Roll d6. Best of 3.
2.
1.
Second, Sadiq wins. Paper beats rock. And the third,
And 5.
5.
stalemate. Scissors versus scissors. We'll roll again.
5.
1.
And scissors beats paper once again. Sadiq wins. Alessandros, what are you doing?
Going in the crawl space.
So you find yourself in a similar sized crawl space as you've just come from. It's dark. No light in here whatsoever.
Pull my sword out. Utter the word. Light it up.
And you indeed find yourself in a looking down a long corridor that seems to turn to the right.
The other one turned to the left, yeah?
You did?
Okay. Alright. Crawl down it.
You crawl forward, reaching the turn in the corridor. It turns sharply to the right, and looking down you see more crawl space. Looks like probably another 50 or 60 feet before it looks like it turns sharply to the right once more.
It's a bloody long one, isn't it? Keep going.
As you move forward and reach the next right turn, you now see a long corridor which seems to probably 30 or 40 feet in with the light of your sword disappears into darkness in front of you. Can't really see any more turn-offs.
So I've done a right turn.
By now, I'm gonna touch my ring of sending and say to Ellie, so what you found?
More tunnels.
How far?
So far you've gone probably about 150, 200 feet. By the time you've reached it's about 30 or 40 feet to the first turn, 50 feet to the second turn, and you've gone now another 30 or 40 feet in and still not seeing another turn in the corridor.
Relay that to him.
So you actually probably at the range of the rings as well.
Yeah, Sadiq, you knowing what you know, you just giving those sort of rough measurements, you sort of determine that he would probably at this point be underneath you.
Directly underneath us? Roughly?
Pretty much underneath where you're standing.
Okay. Keep on following it, I guess.
Yeah.
Ellie, because if you're straight underneath us, it's going to take you somewhere different.
You keep moving forward?
Yeah.
Roll d20 for me.
$16.
16. You move forward another 40 or so feet.
Did I notice the inclines by any chance?
Yeah, you did. This is saying you now start moving down. Quite not sharply, but it's definitely a noticeable decline in the corridor. Then after about another 30 or 40 feet, it starts to rise again, just ever so slightly. Nothing drastic, but it's noticeable. You come to a right turn, a left turn, and start inclining slightly sharper. You then find yourself at another small right turn, another small left turn, Now faced with another long corridor. It's now damp under hand and knee. Like your knees are wet, your hands are wet. It's not deep, but there's definitely moisture in this tunnel. Really dank, nasty smell, like real stagnant water and moss, and that real sort of nasty, sort of old swamp smell. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
12.
The smell's not too bad. It definitely burns and stings your nostrils. It's a rancid smell, but it doesn't make you want to vomit. You sort of almost dry retch a little bit. You still feel a little poorly after the damage that you've taken earlier, but you managed to sort of fight through it. You move forward further and come to another small right turn, and are now faced with a dead end, it seems.
See if there's any hidden doors, crevices, cracks.
As you move forward to sort of check the end of this corridor, your hand literally passes through it, and it's essentially another illusion. Sort of step forward. Do you poke your head through, or you move your whole body through?
Poke me head through. And it gets chopped off.
We'll tell you in a minute. After passing through the illusionary black sphere, you've crawled along this small tunnel, reaching its end. You have discovered the secret entrance, illusionary stone that is blocking the end of this entrance. You see what is obviously some form of temple. There are scenes of normal life painted on its walls from where you are, just on the one wall, if you are not proceeding all the way in. But all the people you can see are rotted flesh, skeletal hands, worms eating them from some of them. It looks quite disturbing. But there's also depicted some various symbols of religious sort of nature. You've seen enough around in your time in Paradigm. There's a symbol of helm. There's a symbol of what looks like something similar to what Het possibly worships. There's a few symbols you recognize. There's also a mosaic path leading directly from where you are entering this room. That looks like it leads down the center of this chapel, in between the wooden pews. And from where you are, you can sort of see what looks like an altar or a dais with a small wooden chair at the opposite end.
How far away am I from these guys?
Just sort of roughly what you've sort of figured out. You've traveled probably about a good 300 feet through these tunnels, 300-400 feet. So you know you're within range of your earring.
I'll let them all know. Well, Sadiq at least.
Yeah, Het's probably out of range.
Yeah, I'll let Sadiq know.
But yeah, Sadiq's definitely well within range. So let him know.
So Sadiq just found this shrine, I guess, or temple. I don't know. A lot of religious stuff and all that. Do you want to continue on, or do you want me to come back?
So you found a burial ground, or
no, I don't think it's burial ground. It's just pictograms of rotting people and all that.
oh, okay. Have you had a look around the room yet?
Not yet. You want me to have a look, don't you?
We can hear too, right? Where would
Viola and Inari, yes. Het, no.
He'll be hearing one side of this conversation, won't he?
Het won't be able to hear anyway because he'll be out of range from where you are.
No, but he's hearing one side of it.
Oh, he could.
He'll be hearing.
He'd be able to hear Sadiq. I would say just be in range of Sadiq.
Is there anything in the room that's in the riddle?
Hang on. I'll check.
Are there like colors or a chair?
Oh yeah, there's a wooden chair there in the middle of the room with
There's
a mosaic path going to it from where I am.
There's a throne in the riddle.
I don't think.
You're not sit on it.
I'm not sitting on it. You come here and sit on it. Enjoy the crawl.
Maybe we should all meet up there.
Exactly how
Sounds
much
like
of
a
a
plan.
crawl was it, Ali?
Oh, probably about 300 meters or so.
300 meters. No. Probably good that I sent you, isn't it?
All right, I'll check. I'm not going to the center. I'm going to check around the outside of this room for traps, levers, doors, secret.
So which direction are you going to go?
Oh,
Give me a second.
do we have a map of it?
I will give you a little reference here.
I'm not going
Just
to
a little
enjoy
reference,
this.
not a big reference.
So this
I'm
is
not
pretty much
going-
what you see, Alessandros. You're at the top, right here. You can't see the stuff down the bottom here because it's this little part here is raised, so you can't see what's beyond that. You can see the chair raised above. These are kind of candelabras and raises in the corner here. All the mosaic pictures are on this wall. You're at the top right here.
All right, I'll go down the left-hand side.
You're going to come out of the little doorway and move to your left across the top here,
No.
or down this way.
Yeah.
So the left-hand side of the room. Yeah. So with that, you leave safety of this little hole.
I like how he puts that the safety. Yes.
You look around. What are you specifically looking at? The walls specifically, or
The walls, down that area between the wall and the chairs.
you're going to check the
Make
pews
sure-
as well?
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while because it's quite a big room. So first off, make an investigation check for the walls and just generally walking around the walls and checking
20.
20. So don't really notice anything about the walls at all. Like I said, they're all painted quite nicely. It's very clean in here though. It's not dusty like the other parts of that you've been discovering so far. It's very clean, almost like someone's cleaned it recently. But the walls are brightly coloured and I'll say depicting all manner of scenes, but everyone that's depicted seems either dead or undead or rotting. It's a very dark sort of presence on these walls. As you sort of move down the center of the room towards the big chair at the top.
With you saying that it looks
Yeah,
clean, I'm going to stealth as well.
Roll stealth. You're gonna move very quietly.
18.
So, 18. Okay, so as far as you know, you're nice and stealthy. So what part do you want to check next? The pews or the main chair itself?
The pews.
Pews. Roll a perception check as you sort of step forward and have a
Nat 20, 25.
Nat 20. So, as you examine the pews, the first row of pews, you see they all have hinges. So it looks like the seats can be hinged up and opened. The hinges on the first row, or the front row of pews, are larger than the hinges on the rear sort of pews. They definitely stand out.
Investigate these hinges. What do they do? Where do they go?
They just, it looks like they just hinge the seats. Like you got the back of the pew.
Yep.
You got a cushioned seat. The hinges are
Yep.
on the back of the cushioned seat, so it looks like you can lift the seat. And it looks like they can be lifted from the front.
Are they like boxes or like?
The seats look like they would house like possibly prayer books or maybe even more cushions. They're quite wide. Like the seats are big enough for someone of hit size to sit on them. And it's just a hinge seat, like a window seat in a house. You got the
All right,
where you store
open
cushions
one
and stuff. Which one? Front pew. See, give me a row number 1 to 4. 1 to 5. Sorry.
5.
1 to 4. Sorry. I mean
4.
4. So row 4. So from the front, so that's the back row, left or right?
Closest one to me.
That'd be the right one. So you roll back to the sort of the back one. You think, all right. So you lift up the lid, and you literally find some old prayer books. Looks like nothing that you can read. A couple more cushions, just general storage stuff in that first one.
Open the number 3.
Just going to move next one over, same side.
Yeah.
And you move to the next one again, pretty much the same thing. This one looks like it's got some old vestments, like you get the priests wear the big sort of gnarly looking capes, velvet capes and stuff with the holy symbol on it. These are sort of moth eaten and old, but again, just general storage items.
Second.
More of the same.
And first.
So you move to the front pew and the one with the larger hinges.
Yeah.
As you open the as you open the front pew, it's got a bit of resistance to it. As you go to lift it, you got to put a little bit of heft behind it to get it to open. And the moment you lift it to its full extent, you hear as the room starts to fill with a dark green noxious gas.
Alright, make my way back to that entrance.
Make a dexterity saving throw for me first.
24.
24, you quickly dart back towards the way you came into the room as the gas starts to fill the room from the front of this sort of temple looking place. Did you replace the lid or leave it open?
I just let it fall down. I didn't open it all the way.
It did not fall. It remained open.
And I guess it's staying open.
The gas continues to fill the room. You head back towards the entrance. As you sort of turn and look back, you now notice that this room is now almost 2/3 full of this dark green gas.
Move back down that hallway.
So you're going to move back to the main corridor?
Yep.
Okay, so as you head back, I need you to roll another Constitution saving throw for me, as the gas seems to be right on your heels as you quickly move through this corridor.
18.
Does not seem to affect you at this point. You move forward quickly, and as the gas seems to be following and filling this corridor behind you.
So I'm going to, so I can move a little bit quicker, seeing I'm pretty much crawling, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm going to shrink my size down a little bit so I can crawl faster.
I will allow that. You are a shapeshifter, so you're able to move a little quicker. You get ahead of the gas. After a while, you notice the gas doesn't seem to move any further behind you, and you, after a short time, emerge back into the crystal chamber.
At half my size. Awesome. So, guys, I may have done something I may not have, but we can't go that way anymore.
You may have done something you may not have, but we can't go that way anymore.
No, not a
Did
good
you
idea.
break this time?
I didn't break anything.
Really?
I
Then
opened something.
get back in the tunnel and go back down there if you haven't broken
The
anything.
Jake.
You first. If you pass out, it's all good. Means it's still there.
So you broke something.
I didn't break it. I opened it.
Uh-oh.
You open.
And we all know what happens when you open stuff you shouldn't.
I'm a thief. That's what I do.
Stick your hands into little black orbs. that you
Yeah, I know.
Did you get to like the throne? Did you touch the throne?
No, I only got to the pews.
So
Well-
what happened? What actually happened?
Well, the pews have hinges, so I thought, okay, it'd be a good idea to check the pews. So I opened the back one, the middle two, and the front one. The front one was different, and it had bigger hinges, and I opened that, and yeah, let's not go there anymore.
So let's not go. What exactly came out of the pew?
Gas. Green gas.
And what happened when you breathed it?
I don't know. It wasn't sticking around. Find out.
Okay. Okay, never mind. That's all I wanted to know.
And with that, I go back to my normal size. So who's next to checking out orbs? Anybody?
So back to Hit. Hit, you would have gotten partial conversation. We'll jump back to Hit for a moment. Hit, you would have got a part of that conversation. You wouldn't have heard what Alessandra had said, but you would have heard what Sadiq had said. So you probably have surmised that Alessandra is doing something somewhere. They possibly found another corridor. What are you doing?
Hit is very spent. He is worn out. He is sitting on the ground next to the opening in this little cavernous area, and he is taking his backpack off, and he's just looking through his things. He is feeling tired. He puts his hand on the earring thing, and he says, team, I don't know about you guys, but starting to feel a little lethargic. Do we have a safe room? Has Alessandra's found a safe room where maybe we could camp? Is there? I mean, are you guys feeling this way?
Are we feeling tired?
Alessandra's would be, definitely. Viola, you've taken a fair amount of damage also, so you'd probably be feeling it. Nari definitely, after her experiences. Even Sadiq to a certain point. You've all taken some pretty gnarly damage fighting the gargoyle and dealing with bits and pieces in the room thus far.
Do we have a safe room that we feel is good?
I would say the room that Het's in.
How big is the room that it hit us in again?
20 feet by 10 feet.
It'd be cramped.
It's pretty little, but we could block it up. There would only be one way in and out. I think I've smashed up the gargoyle enough that it won't be a problem.
All right.
It sounds like a plan, I guess.
Guess we're squishing back down that corridor again.
Back down the hallway. Corridor thingy.
I'll go first and shrink my size so I can go quicker than. Yep.
I pat him on the head.
All right. Following down the tunnel.
Alright, so you all head back to rejoin Het. And yeah, so we're going to camp for well, you really can't tell what time of day it is. You've now been in the tomb for a number of hours, so you can probably determine that it's probably heading towards your first evening, but you're not 100% sure what time it is. But you are wanting to make camp and recoup. I muted you. Okay. I wasn't sure. I was just testing. I think it was nutty. But yeah, so you guys all rejoin Hit now back in the gargoyle room. The gargoyle's still there. It's not really damaged much, but it looks like it's taken a bit of a blast from something. But yeah, you are now all together once again.
In this tiny space.
Yes. So you're in a 20-foot by 10-foot room with one opening. You could all probably sit together comfortably, but you wouldn't all be able to lie down and stretch out or anything like that. You'd probably have to sort of sleep up against. Sadiq, you'd be used to it. With your background, you're used to rough sleeping. Nari, you would be the same, I would imagine, with your experiences. You don't have any issues, never had an issue sleeping in weird places, sitting up or whatever.
Hit will lay with his feet in the crawl space so he's not intruding on anyone else's space.
Yes, Hit would be the biggest in the room, next to Sadiq. Yeah. The Hit's feet in the crawl space, blocking it from anyone intruding on your space. And so are we all going to take some time, long or short rest, guys?
I'll go with long.
I think
yes.
one.
Long rest?
Hit agrees. Hit is spent. Hit is very spent. It would not much use further on if we do not take a long rest.
Okay, so with that, is anyone going to stand watch? You're going to...
I'll stay awake for a bit. I only need 4 hours anyway.
So you're going to stay awake for the first 4 hours?
I'll take the second.
Because you're the same, aren't you, Flo? You only need hours as well. So
Yeah.
that covers our 8-hour rest. So with that, Anari, you stay awake, and the rest of you somewhat get yourselves comfortable and drift off to sleep. And with that, I really need to pee, so give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back. Anari, in the meantime, make a
break.
We'll take our break now. Actually, probably a good idea because I really need to pee.
Hey.
Okay.
So we'll take our 5-minute break, guys. We'll be right back. We'll answer a few questions if you've got any, and shortly. But while the team is taking a break, we will also take a break.
Coffee.
And I'm back. How we all doing tonight, chat? Blue Jay, thank you for the resub. Magic, the host, appreciate it, buddy. Glad you guys could hang out tonight for our return session of Paradigm. I say apologies for weird speaking and weird faces that I make, but I'm still having issues with my teeth. Getting there slowly, but I had to recently return to the dentist to have more work done. Hopefully that'll be the last time. But I'm glad you're here anyway, because it's been a lot of fun. Yes, a lot of people are having a few withdrawals. I mean, the one shot was cool. Definitely had fun with that. Curse of Strahd will be back on Thursday morning. So that'll be cool too. Definitely looking forward to that. I know Malice and Death and that are all looking forward to coming back to the Curse of Strahd campaign as well. Be interesting to see how much gung ho. What's up? Interesting to see how many more sessions these guys are going to be in the tomb. If this will be now session 3 in the tomb.
That would also depend on whether we die in this tomb or not.
There is also that possibility. There is always a possibility you may die. Just saying.
So that's all our hit points back up, is it?
Yep, so everyone will complete a long rest. Do. You're all going to die down here. No, I'm just kidding. Interesting watching Hit drink with a big schnoz. I know, right?
Yeah, I see. Death made partner. With
Yes, he did.
Twitch as well.
There was quite a few of the mixer partners that went over to Twitch that applied, managed to get it, which was cool. Some didn't, obviously,
it's
but
good that Twitch said, "Well, you guys have already got the, you've already ticked off all the boxes on one side." So
yeah, a lot. Like there was a few partners that didn't get repartnered on Twitch either, but
really,
yeah, not all of them have. Obviously, they don't have what Twitch requires at this point, but that's not to say that they haven't done the hard work on Mixer for sure. But it has been good to see a lot of those Mixer partners getting Twitch partnership as well. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm going to support all those people that I supported on Mixer on Twitch, regardless. I mean, I've always been one of those people. I don't really give a shit where you stream. If I like your content, I'm gonna go where you go, basically.
Has Lisa Fletch come over, or
no? I don't think it will. I think Fletch will probably just stop streaming.
Okay.
And there'll be a lot of content. Yeah, magic. There'll be a lot of content creators out there that just won't carry on for whatever reason, and if that's their choice in the end. Thank you. And again, I support their decision too. If they feel that this is the end of their content journey, then that's up to them. But yeah, Magic's still over here. Magic's still going strong. Like I said, we still support the Magic realm, 110%. It's always going to be the way. Like I still support Death, and there's been Miss Z and Jasmine Q. Some really cool streamers. Redbeard Gaming. Yeah, Miss Z, she's over here. She's affiliated. I think she got turned down for partnership, but again, she's still got affiliation. And ultimately, as much as it may sound, it doesn't really sound harsh. It's basically a fact. Monetization wise, ex-mixer partners can make as much money with Twitch affiliation, if not more than what they were making as partners. Generally, there's just more opportunities on that end, because I don't think Mix had really explored it very well initially. But a lot of these streamers aren't streaming for money either. They do it for the enjoyment of it. I mean, I was supporting Magic long before he became a Mixer partner, and it was never about that for him, just like it was never about that for me. So it was just about the fun of it and just having enjoying yourself in the end. Yes, the sub button is a cool thing to have, and it is cool to have that support, but it's not what it's about in the end. So, are we all back?
Maybe.
Cool.
Are we dead yet?
No, you're not dead yet.
No, not coming back then.
Yeah, not yet. Soon.
What?
Not now.
Oh
Later.
shit! Sorry, did I give that away? Damn. So with that, we rejoin our sleeping beauties. Anari, can I get you to make a perception check for me, please, for your watch?
Who farted?
Oh Jesus! Hit burping in his sleep.
9.
A 9? Well, nothing much happens anyway. You sort of, through the course of your 4 hours, Hit burps loudly a couple of times. Sadiq rolls over and farts a couple of times as well. He's had a pretty high fiber diet recently. Fiala seems to have a restless sleep. Not really a sleep, meditation. She seems to almost be talking to herself a little bit. Can't really determine what she's saying, but doesn't seem violent or she upset or anything. It's quiet murmuring. But the rest of your watch goes uneventfully. You then wake Fiala, ready for hers, and you prepare yourself for your meditation.
Okay.
And Fiala, your watch. Can I get a perception check from you, please?
That is a 15.
15? Much the same thing. You sort of watch over the group the first couple of hours. Nothing much really happens. Het sleeps rather deeply. You can sort of tell he's really tired. He's not really moving much from sleep. Alessandros, you keep sort of a close eye on. Whatever reason, you seem to keep more of an eye on Alessandros throughout the night. But nothing much happens. Just, again, relatively quiet. You don't really hear much in this place. You get the occasional sort of rush of a sort of ear whistling through from the tunnel, but that's about it. And with that, you complete your long rest. So everyone, you receive all, complete your long rest, receive all your hit points and spell slots back.
DM, just before the rest
Yes.
completes, Het would like to
Have a
try and
dream?
wake well, he would like to wake himself a little earlier and have a quick chat with Fiala if you may.
You certainly can.
Het's rest is a little broken, but he gets to sleep, but he wakes up early, and seeing that Fiala is on watch, I guess he nudges over closer and says, how's things going?
Pretty good. Feels like we live here now. What about you?
I hope we don't live here. It is very small and compact, and the spaces are not large.
Yeah.
Het just wanted to say, Het is feeling a bit awkward in this space. We got quite depressing news originally before we got here, and Het has been pondering on the lives, or much the deaths of his family. It is tough being locked in a space with people you don't know very well. even us, I guess, we don't know each other very well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know each other pretty well.
I guess so. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does Fiela have a last name?
I don't think so. I don't really remember where I came from, so
So
I don't
no
know.
family name, no tribe name.
Not really, no.
By the way, this is Hit's whispering voice. He's trying to be as quiet as he can.
Oh, not really, no.
You know the deal with Namaris and all that business?
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask another question?
You can try.
Who is next? Are we, I mean, I guess we are the Punishers, right? We are to take out the darkness, the evil, the ones who betray.
Oh, well, I just felt that Namaris, like Kosas, came from the Nine Hells, and we're supposed to defeat him, so I felt that it was the right thing to do.
That is a good answer. I've sometimes noticed, and I wonder what you think. Do you maybe stare at Ellie a bit too long?
Oh, well, she is the rogue of the party, so...
She is. Do you think she is a danger?
We don't know anything about her. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may. I am an open book.
Why do you not want to resurrect the dead? Is there something about that? Because you didn't want to resurrect Namaris, and I just kind of see a pattern.
Resurrection is very dark. To bring something from, well, to take something which is dead and to give it life. It has always been taught through his family and the teachings of the Steel Lady that they never, ever come back the same.
So if I died, you wouldn't save me?
If you were dying, I would do everything in my power to save you. To bring you back, you may come back like Namaris, infected with something else.
Okay. I guess that's all.
Don't be confused. I would try everything I could, but I have no skill to resurrect anyone anyway. It's not something I wish to learn.
Oh. Are you feeling like you're going to avenge your family?
I don't know if you saw the gargoyle over there.
Yeah, I did.
But yes, Kosas is going to either kill me or I'm going to die trying killing him, one or the other. I think there's maybe a resolution here where we all live, but I'm not sure what it is.
And thanks for being honest with me.
That is cool. But just so you know, if you and Sadiq are planning on taking out Ellie, let me know so I can...
Hey, you don't you like Allie?
Oh no, Ellie is a great friend.
Oh.
But she has committed also great evil, and someday she shall be judged.
Oh, well, we don't know what she's done. I mean, can't really say.
She admits to killing the halfling woman and taking on her form.
Okay, I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, I'm not saying you must kill
Awesome.
Ellie. I'm just saying if you do, Just give me a heads up.
Well, you have a lot of trust in me.
I think I trust you the most.
Oh. That's good.
You don't seem convinced about that.
I've got a lot on my mind too, so yeah.
Oh, what is bugging you?
Oh, it's a lot of farting going on right now. And it's really tearing me up.
Are you intolerant to lactose?
Just, you're really emotional. And I'm
That
going
is
to blame
fair.
it on that. Yeah.
That is
And
fair.
I'm not used to telling people how I feel, so it's kind of, I make jokes. Yeah.
That's how I do it too. I make joke. You may have noticed.
Yeah. It's a bard thing. Oh.
I think so. So shall I turn up the volume on the lute and wake everyone up for fun?
Oh, yes. Or, you remember we were going to play a prank on Allie?
Oh, are you going to slit her throat now?
No. Do you remember how Allie was kind of teasing you about that badger thing?
Oh, yes, the beaver.
Well, I was just thinking maybe we could use the ring ascending, kind of like, scare her a little, maybe? Or is it not the time?
No, it's always the time.
Okay.
Hang on. How are you going to use that?
Well, you remember how you said you could put me in your and scare her?
Yes.
You ready?
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna
And
touch.
then
Go ahead.
When it's sanding, you're going to wake them up and...
Yeah.
All right, okay. All right, so you turn into the beaver, and then... Okay.
You whisper really loud.
I'm sorry. All right.
I'm gonna touch my ring ascending and be like,
Just a question. With this going on.
You're asleep. You don't know nothing.
Yeah, that. Am I hearing?
No, you're asleep.
Okay, just checking.
I'm gonna touch my ring ascending and I'm gonna go, help, I'm being attacked, and I'm gonna wild shape into a beaver.
And then I'm going to grab her and put her halfway into my mouth, just so my tongue's just licking the fur.
Be gentle.
And with that, Alessandros, you wake with a start, hearing this in your head. Or everyone does, because it was all through ring ascending. So, Inari, Sadiq, and Alessandros wake with a start, find hit with a beaver partway in his mouth.
I'm sorry, but seeing that, I would probably jump up and try and grab the beaver out of his mouth.
Would you?
I would.
You wouldn't know who the beaver was.
Is there a Fiala around?
You don't know. All you see is
with
the beaver
that
and hit.
being the help call in my head, wake up, draw the sword, and speak the word to light it on fire.
Okay. I'll give everyone a reaction. So that's your reaction?
Yes.
Inari, what would be your reaction? You've got 2 seconds to decide what your reaction would be. Being hit with a beaver in his mouth.
Well, if I couldn't see Fiala, it would. I'm guessing I would think that was Fiala.
Would you though?
Would I?
Roll a
Yes.
d6.
Oh God.
1 to 3 you do, 4 to 6 you don't.
9. What?
Roll a d6. You can't get a 9 on a 6. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, 20.
I
got a 42.
You got a 1? Okay, so you do. You sort of wake up, because you're meditating, you sort of blink open and can't see Fiala. You see hit with a beaver in his mouth, assuming that it's Fiala. What do you do?
I jump to try and grab this beaver.
Oh, you jump to try and grab the beaver. Okay. With that, you jump forward to try and grab the beaver from Hit's mouth. Roll a dexterity versus dexterity. please.
Versus me.
Yes, you hit.
Hit is not giving up the beaver so easily. So that's an 11 for hit.
And Ari, what was yours? Just a straight dex check, please.
16.
So hit gives up the beaver.
I'll be back.
Sadiq, what is your reaction to this?
My reaction is, where the fuck did you find that beaver?
The beaver was just, it was all over me, and I grabbed it, and it's straight in my mouth, and I'm getting that taste for beaver, but, you know, now, Anari, give me the damn beaver back.
So you now have a handful of beaver each. What are you doing, guys?
I think they're paying beaver wars.
Yeah,
Beaver
tug of beaver.
war?
It's a tug of beaver. So hit, you have the beaver's hindquarters, and Fiala, Anari, you have the beaver's front legs.
Hit does not want to hurt Fiala, knowing it's Fiala, so he's not gripping very solidly. He's just holding on, trying to make it an act.
I would be grabbing the beaver and yanking, because thinking that he's hurting, I don't know why he'd be hurting it, but think, reaction.
Strength versus strength. Hit, if you don't want to fight back.
Hit at disadvantage, yeah.
Roll disadvantage.
Well, you can't beat a nat 20, surely.
Funnily enough, I rolled a nat 20 also.
Double nat 20s.
Disadvantage, I rolled a 9, so just got I rolled a disadvantage.
Double nat 20s, but we'll record them anyway. So with that, yeah, Anari, you managed to sort of grab the beaver from Hit. Hit releases said beaver. You don't expect him to quite sort of give up quite so easily, and you fall on your ass.
Yep.
So stumble backwards. Fiona, at this point, what are you doing? You're aware of everything. No, you don't take any damage. You're aware of what's happened. You're aware that Anari's now sort of wrestled you from Hit. She's fallen over. What are you going to do? You're going to stay in beaver form? You're going to instantly transform, or what? So whatever you think you would do.
I'm gonna roll for it.
D6. D6. 1 to 3, yes. 4 to 6, no.
It is a. Okay, I didn't roll a d6 because that was a 17.
What is it with the women that don't know what a D6 is? I mean, come on.
2.
So you do transform. So
Honor. Poof.
Anari, roll a. No, you don't even have to roll. Take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as the moment you grab the beaver and sort of fall back onto your butt. Fiala instantly transforms back into herself. Now you have a full-size Fiala in your lap, and she's a little bit bigger than you. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Is she bigger than me?
A little bit, not much.
Excuse me. No.
Am I are you okay? Can you get me now?
Oh, sorry. Are you okay? We were just
Playing around?
talking.
Oh, learning Elven?
Learning beaver.
I look at you at this point, kind of around Fiona, and I'm like, what were you doing? You don't eat the druid.
I said to her,
No.
actually, Hit's gonna play he doesn't know, like pretending still. That beaver, it just jumped me, and I just remember what everyone said, and I knew I hadn't eaten any beaver before, and I was like, it's time for eating beaver, baby.
Back to Alessandros, just quickly before we carry on. You reacted sword out, sword flaming. You'd spoken the magic word. In that sort of 2 or 3 second time period, you saw Inari reached for and grabbed the beaver and wrestled with it for a moment. What were you doing that time?
Taking note of the situation, but after seeing what's just transpired, yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
I wouldn't either.
It's a new fetish or something. I don't know.
Hit goes to his backpack, pulls out his compass, flicks it open, moves it around and goes, points it at Fiela. It was you all the time, right?
Surprise! The prank. And
We got
we've
you.
been
We
pranking.
got you guys.
this-
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been pranking for a while. So
Anyway, the compass is pointing at this little that hatchway we came in. I guess it's probably time to carry on. And he clicks it closed and puts it back in his pack.
yeah. Keep
All right,
compass is
so you
just
guys
spinning, it's
wake. You guys wake, well rested.
Bit startled.
A little bit startled, a little bit weirded out by the situation that just took place. But yes. So what are we doing, team?
wondering if the gas might have dissipated by morning. You think, guys?
Ellie, you can go and have another look, yeah?
Well, Ali knows roughly where the gas stopped, so yeah,
I know?
he's
Yes,
probably
you-
the best
yeah.
choice.
You got a fair idea.
All right. Well, let's do it then.
So you head back into the chamber of orbs, we'll call it. So
Yeah.
this chamber of spheres. Go back to the black sphere, through the illusionary wall, and you crawl back into the crawl space. So just Ellie on your own. Anyone else going to follow?
I'll go. Yeah.
Go as well.
Just
This
stay
one's a
behind.
little bigger than the one you came from. So it's not as tight a space as the one you were just in the smaller room, so it's a little bit bigger. But you move forward, and you get to the point roughly where you thought that the gas had stopped moving or stopped following you, and sure enough, there is no gas.
Cool. Carry on.
There you go.
Go see that throne.
Is the rest of you
No.
following?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
follow.
Yes.
Don't open any fuse lids.
So you move back. Takes you a little while. You get back through this walkway. It's about 450 feet all up, and you all emerge into the chamber. Just to give you all another quick nosy. This is the chamber which you emerged into from the top right of this picture. The pew that is still open, where the gas first emerged from, is the right pew on the very front. All these other pews on the right hand side have been opened and have various storage things in them. All the pews to the left are still closed.
Ellie, there's a body there.
You don't see that body from where you are. Sorry.
Did you think it would give it away though? Metagaming, sorry.
Yes, shush.
Don't open the pew lids, especially the ones at the front. Or seats, whatever you want.
Did you find anything in any of the pews that you did open?
Just what you see in the fourth one, third one, and second one.
Excellent.
With the lid being still open on the first one, I didn't see anything in there, did I?
You didn't really rummage through it. You just had a quick look, and from looking at them, it just looks like storage stuff. You haven't actually gone through any of it.
Well, I relay that. Yeah, so guys, I didn't rummage through. I just opened to look.
And you also relayed to them that the pews on the opposite side of the aisle are set out much the same. The back three have smaller hinges than the front one.
Don't open that first one if you're going to have a look at the others.
The riddle said that they're the throne that's key and keyed. So I would. Do you think, Allie, you could look around the throne maybe for her? Maybe like a keyhole or a.
This is a chapel, right, DM?
It is.
It's not really throne, is it? It's more of a
Or a
the pew,
dive.
the seat, is it?
It's a wooden chair of sorts.
Hmm.
It's nicely carved. So look, taking it more closely if you want to. Up to you.
Yes.
The chair is nicely carved and padded, but seems unremarkable. On either side of the dais is large freestanding brass candelabras, each holding 5 white candles. In each corner on that southern wall is a large white pottery urn, stoppered with brass and wood plug. Sprawled along the floor near the west is a human skeleton in black chainmail. It's badly rusted and damaged. The skeleton's outstretched arm points to a stone archway set in the wall. The opening is filled with opaque, bright orange vapors.
Yeah, Fiala, I don't know if this is the throne. Definitely more of a. I mean, I spend time in temples. This is more of just a pew, a seat, a description. But good idea. A key could be hidden here somewhere.
Isn't there an arch here though?
There is.
An arch. Oh, that's also a clue.
They're very similar to the archway you found in the entrance of the tomb, also filled with the same strange vapor.
Except that one was blue.
That was a different colour. Yeah. You had keystones on that one. This one, from where you are, you can't really see. What else is it? See that's filled with orangey coloured vapor.
Hit pulls Kelek from the void as a spider, and
Roger.
he says to Kelek, Kelek, can you just hang around, go around the room, see what you see. How big are the stoppers in the jars you're talking about?
Probably about dinner plate size. They're a good size.
Right, wait a minute. Head, why don't we sing collect through the archway?
Yes, Kelek, go through the archway. And I send Kelek through the archway.
Okay. They Click moves in to the arch, stands there for a moment. How long do you want him to stand there?
Nothing happens to him.
Nothing thus far. Doesn't seem like anything untoward is happening to him.
Can he see anything through the other side of the archway? I just wanted to report back to me.
No, well, it's just vapor. Like once he's in there, all he sees is vapor. It's quite thick.
And the vapor isn't hurting him.
Doesn't appear to be, no.
And it doesn't send him somewhere else.
Doesn't appear so.
Sadiq, I believe Kelek is fine. Kelek also told me telepathically that we are pussies.
Yeah, but that's why we got him. So, although it could just be that the archway doesn't react to him because he's beneath, reaction.
This is true. It's happened to us
Because-
before.
Yeah, at the same time, that golem didn't do him either. It's just he's
I'd
just
like
not working.
to check the first queue on the right hand side for traps.
Okay, roll investigation.
23.
And you, knowing what you know about the first pew on the other side, you inspect the hinges, you sort of lift the lid just a touch. And you can see the rods that are attached to the lid. And yeah, you know it's virtually the same trap that triggered by opening the first pew.
Can I disarm it?
Certainly try. So dexterity check with
so what's the proficiency? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
plus four.
just your proficiency bonus, yeah.
So that's 16.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me.
Hey guys, get ready to run.
Your head just fell off.
1.
One. Sort of using your thieves' tools or a dagger to try and disarm this.
Dagger.
Dagger. Do you have a dagger on your person to use? Firstly, I'm not sure what have you got in your equipment. Make sure you have a dagger equipment list, otherwise it'll have to be.
Yeah, I got daggers.
Got? Okay. So as you sort of work your dagger around one side of this trap, and you find a piece where you think, yep, I got it. King! Snap your dagger. Trap is still armed.
Alright, so that's...
Scratch one dagger.
Remove from inventory. Alright, so we'll try a second time with thieves' tools this time.
Yep. Or your dexterity plus your... the DC will be higher this time because you failed once.
Yeah, I failed.
What'd you roll?
Well, I rolled a 5 plus 4 was 9, so yeah.
I won't break anything this time, but yeah, you just can't seem to find that sweet spot on it. Sort of, with your first failed attempt, now your second looking at it, you're not sure you can.
I'm gonna leave it.
Just close the lid and walk away from it.
The lid is closed.
Right, no,
So what are we doing, guys?
You would have had the lid open a little bit to try to disarm it, you numbnuts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did we open the stopper on that base vessel?
The vessel.
The vessels?
The vessel?
Is it vessel? No one's inspected them as yet.
I think Het was going to expect it more than.
Was probably a bit too big for Kellic, so feel free, Fiona.
You got two vessels, one either side, in the corner of each corner of the southern wall.
I'm gonna slowly open one, but I'm ready to stop it if it's.
Which
bad.
one? Left or right? Left side. So you move to the left side of the altar or the main chair, dais. This one's stoppered with a looks like a big cork stopper, and it's sealed with wax.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
How are you gonna open it? What?
Oh.
It's sealed. It's got a wax seal on it.
Sadiq, you got anything to bust some wax?
I look over at Ellie and go, Ellie, your rapier that does fire would probably melt the wax, wouldn't it?
I would assume so.
Do you mind? Because I've already turned this into a radiant weapon, and I really don't want to swap.
Okay. Say the command word, light it up, and put it near the wax top.
Okay. Takes a little bit for the wax to heat up. It's quite thick wax. It's not red. It's not that red wax. It's a real deep sort of yellowy, almost like a beeswax, but really, really thick and really tough. But it takes a few moments, but then it does start to bubble and sort of melt away. Then after a bit, it sort of, first chunk sort of breaks away, enough for you to break the rest away yourself, Fiona.
Okay.
So you remove the stopper from the urn.
Yes.
You don't sound convinced.
Like,
So
No,
you're...
it's not that she's not convinced, she's worried.
Well, yes, I
Be
mean,
confident.
be confident. Be confident in your decision.
yes.
So you take the stopper from this urn. It sort of makes an audible pop as you break the seal, and I'd make that sound, but my teeth would probably fall out. And you lift it up and you sort of peer inside, and you're peering into pitch blackness. You can't really see much in there.
Hold my sword above it.
Above it. So a little bit of light coming from the sword. What you do see is some shimmering silver shining up from the bottom. It looks like silver coins.
Oh, I'm gonna reach in for the coins.
Which arm are you going to reach in to the coin?
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
With which hand do you decide to reach in to grab the
How
coins?
far away from here am I?
Pour it out.
I'm like, ooh.
Well, the kind of, I'd say you're all sort of milling around. You're within sort of 10 or 15 feet of it.
Pour it out. Don't stick your hand into it. Pour it out.
Oh, is it? It's very big and heavy,
It
though.
is
isn't
very
it?
big and heavy, yes.
Yeah.
You could try and tip it over if you want to. It's up to you.
Hit will help you if you like.
Strength check with
All right.
advantage if you want to try and tip it over.
All right.
Like, how big is it?
Just trying to think size-wise. Probably about 4.5 feet from the ground. It's on like steel legs, and it's a big crockery urn. But it's probably about 4 feet tall, and it's probably about 3.5 feet around. It's quite big.
Alright,
It would have a fair amount of weight behind it.
yeah, I'm gonna suggest that we wrap my rope around it a couple of times, and we all just pull on it
Okay.
instead.
Just say one person make a strength check with advantage. So I'd say Sadiq, since you suggested
Yeah, that probably
suggested the tactic.
He is definitely the strongest one of us all.
That, I mean, it'll lower the DC because of the skill used. It's not just brute
That would
strength.
be 15.
15? Yeah, with that, 2 or 3 of you on the rope, with that kind of skill, relatively easily you're able to topple the urn over. It hits the ground with quite force. It seems quite a heft behind it. Doesn't break, but it indeed spills some of its contents as it hits the floor, and they are indeed silver coins.
Oh, there we go. Check the other one, I guess. Maybe the other one will have gold coins. Platinum.
So who's checking the other one?
Take the sword over to the other one. Melt the wax.
The other one is sealed with a copper stopper, not cork,
Okay.
and
then,
it is
I won't be doing
not sealed with wax. It looks like it's hammered copper, and it's been hammered over the lip of the urn.
that. What's the urn made of?
It looks like probably a thick crockery of some, like a thick pottery of some. Like looking at the other one, seems to be quite like a real thick pottery. Hence the weight behind it and the fact that it did not break when it hit the floor. In fact, it probably, looking at it, underneath it's probably cracked the stone floor beneath it, just with the weight. And it made quite a substantial noise when it hit the floor too, which echoed through the chamber.
In my smithy tools, would I have something that would allow me to uncork the copper?
Yes, you would. You'd have hammer and chisels of some description.
I've got a crowbar apparently.
Well, that'll do it too.
Crowbar would potentially do it, yeah. I mean, looking at it, Sadiq, with your skill, you look at it and you can see that it's been a reasonably thick sheet of copper has been placed over the top of it and been hammered down and around the lip of it to seal it. So you would know with your smithing experience, copper's soft. It wouldn't take much to bend that and reopen it with either smith tools or a crowbar or something similar.
So what I'm going to suggest to Ali is use his sword to warm the copper up a bit.
Yep.
So that it's a little bit more bendable, and use the crowbar after that to try to pry it off, and just keep on alternating in between the two until he does it.
So who's going to use the crowbar? Alessandros or you, Sadiq?
I'll do the crowbar. I'll do the crowbar.
Okay, so again, make another strength check, and we'll do it at advantage because of the skill check involved.
I've got my sword sit on the top of the.
Yeah, well, the process you'll heat it. You'll try and move it. You'll heat it. It'll be a repeatable process, but over the course of time, make your strength check.
18.
18 with advantage. And yeah, after probably about 10 or 15 minutes of recycling, heating and prying, the copper then does give and comes off. And as you peer inside this urn, and using the light from the sword, once again you do find a shimmering light returning back to your eyesight. Gold, looks like possibly some gems of some description too.
Alright, so this one's got gold and gems in it.
So-
Girls.
I reckon we tie it and pull it down.
Do
Just
it
in
again.
case.
Yeah.
So no skill check needed for this one. I mean, you've already done it once. Easily done again. And you tip this one over again, hits the ground with reasonable force, making a loud noise, echoes through this chamber. Not even dust sort of comes down from the ceiling with the force, and again spilling some of its contents out. And yeah, gold coins. Looks like a ruby, maybe a jade, a few small gems, also spilling out onto the floor.
Het, could you cast Detect Magic, please?
It can do that.
Before you do that, can everyone roll a perception check for me?
This is one of my favorite.
So we'll go around. Yeah, Alessandra's 24, Fiona,
21.
Het,
16.
Inari,
19.
and Sadiq.
12, so 11.
11. So with that, as the second urn hits the ground and spills its contents at your feet, everyone except for Sadiq notices a faint noise coming from beyond what would be the altar or the centerpiece of the chapel on just above you in the center of this room. And as you sort of hear this noise and look up, I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, please. Sadiq, you at disadvantage because you can't see it coming.
Is gonna hurt.
Aw.
So Alessandra, it's your dex saving throw. 11. Fiella,
8.
8. Het,
6.
Inari,
10.
10. Oh shit.
Shit.
Sadiq,
My dex is 8.
Both of them were 23.
holy shit. So out of all that, guys, Sadiq, you will take half damage because you're the only one that saved, and you did not see it coming. A large fireball just erupts from the wall, seemingly from nowhere, and pretty much engulfing all of you, except for Sadiq, who manages to dive out of the way. Just instinctually, Sadiq, you will take 16 points of damage, fire damage. The rest of you will take 32 points of fire damage as this large fireball just erupts into the room and engulfing you all. And with that, Alessandra, you're probably the first to notice this. As you sort of take the damage and sort of get back up and go, oh my god, you notice the giant pressure pad that was sitting under the second of the urns, which you just toppled over, which was released as you toppled it over.
See, I'm a good thief. Yeah, I'm good.
Golly. Where did you get your rogue training from?
But yes, you were all
got-
suffering
got it.
now
He
from
got his
some
training from the
fire
blind
damage.
monks of, the hidden mountains.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, good thing they rested. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Yeah, because that would have killed me.
So we've got this gold and gems. Do we really need to bother taking any of it?
Well, technically we're not here for that, but I mean it is gold and gems.
Yes.
Silver.
Do we just
Yes.
take gems and we
No.
leave the gold because of
No.
the fact of we can only physically carry so much?
That's called
Yeah, there is quite a fair amount there, definitely.
Fiela's like,
Scrooge McDuck.
Swimming through the gold. It's not that much.
Yeah, no, I say we just take like the gems because that's going to be the biggest bang for our buck. And if later on, if we can, we'll come and get the gold. But it's like not like we can all carry an absolute infinite quantity of it.
Again, bag of holding.
bag of holding.
Yeah,
I was
but
gonna say, I
only
have
the bag of holding can only hold so much until it can.
Actually, how much do you have in the bag of holding? Just on that note.
I have 1,085 gold, 3 silver, 1 diamond, 50 foot of hemp rope, 5 potions of healing, 3 greater healing, 1 vial of poison, 1
Because it
spider.
can only carry about 500 pounds total.
Okay. 1 spider poison gland, 2 obsidians, 1 smite sasget, 1 potion of.
Yeah, a lot of small
red-
stuff, eh? Not much big stuff in there, like weapons
Yeah.
and things like that.
Good.
I'd say about judging from that, as long as you don't have any massive amount, like huge amounts of weapons in your bag of holding,
No.
you'd probably be able to carry a fair amount of this weight in gold. But you know that gold weighs a lot more than other things. So Sadiq's probably right that gems would be your best bet.
So we put the gems in first and then fill up the rest with the gold.
Alright, what gems do we get?
All of them.
Fucking
Yeah.
greedy motherfuckers.
No, honestly, I'm thinking of those things back in the other room. Maybe we need to go and put some of the gems in those.
Well, the gems we can hold in our hands or in our pockets.
It just wants to make a warning to you all. This is a chapel, be it in a dungeon of any description. This could be a bad idea.
Just to point out,
Wagon
Ed,
upgrade.
I am a thief. Not a good one, but a thief nevertheless.
It will touch none of this gold nor jewels in his. It will not be on his person.
Yeah,
Okay.
the other thing is, Head, we also need to raise an army, and an army costs.
Fiala's
Huh?
just like.
Have you picked up any of the gold or gems, Fiala?
Yes, a
You
lot.
have? You have?
Yeah.
You sure?
I mean, we've got to upgrade a wagon.
So you've picked them up and you've got them in your hands?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's his bag.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, putting him in the...
Carry on.
As she's loading up, Hit moves over to Sadiq and says, I understand we are raising an army and it costs, but from a chapel, this is not the best idea. Plus, this place is called the Tomb of Horrors, is it not? I feel like everything is made to trick us, tempt us. So far, nothing we have done has been good. Not one thing has worked out in our favor that I can recall.
Fiala, roll a perception check for me.
You do have a point, Head.
Hit is all for money. Hit wants to buy a few things, but Hit feels this is a trick. It's too easy.
21.
Anyone? You notice the coins that you picked up in your hands are just coins.
Yeah.
You sort of open your hands, go look at the coins once more because the gold is just it's awesome. It's so shiny. You look at it and almost immediately as you glance down, it all turns to rust and is now just rust powder in your hand. Hit, roll a perception check for me.
That will be 17.
17. You're the first to probably notice on the western wall, because I think you're probably still standing over on that sort of side a little bit. On the western wall, you notice just out of the corner of your eye, there's a slot. Like it's kind of weird. It stands out. It's not something that looks natural. from your position. No one else sort of sees it. Fiala, as you look down at your feet and towards the urn with the gold coins and gems, all of those gems have now turned to dust. The coins, just rusted dust on the floor. The silver coins, however, hit where you're standing are still intact.
Are there silver coins on the floor?
There is a single silver coin on the floor.
Hello, Lions. I may have discovered something here. There seems to be a slot on the... Not a beaver, a slot on the wall.
Slot on the wall?
Yes, not quite, but... And the coinery here is not ashen, is not rusted, it is not dissipating in any sort of way, shape, or form. Is this like some sort of sordid trick, a money box system, maybe?
Maybe. Custom tech magic.
Yes, that's right. I was going to do that before. Hit cast detect magic in the area.
You take the time and you cast your spell. You glance around the room. Other than the items,
10 minutes, yes.
other than the items that you are all carrying, nothing seems to light up.
So, Ali, I spent the 10 minutes. I said the ritual, and nothing is glowing magically.
Apart from us, right?
Well, you know, the usual suspects. Shall I place a coin in this hole? Actually, shall I get Killick to place a coin in this hole?
That would be a good idea.
Killick, imp form now, and then put it in the hole. I get Killick to change shape back to his white imp
putting
form.
in the hole?
One of the silver coins. In the slot, not the hole, sorry, the slot.
And the slot in the wall does look about the size of a coin or any kind of disc-sized or disc-shaped gem, for that matter. Even a magic ring would probably fit the small shape on the western wall. You instruct Collect to grab the silver coin. He picks it up. Nothing happens. The coin is still intact. The rest of the coins, however, as you sort of walk past that urn, you have all noticed have suffered the same fate as the golden gems from the previous urn. Collect then approaches the small coin-like slot on the western wall, which seems to be right at there's a painted figure. It seems to be right at the hand level. Places the coin into the slot, and you don't hear it drop or anything like that. You don't hear that typical coin slot mechanism type triggering or anything. It disappears. 2 or 3 minutes pass, nothing really happens, and then suddenly dust and that starts to sort of fall from the ceiling above this painted figure. Then the figure itself starts to move slowly downwards. The wall then moves with it, revealing a passage beyond.
Good boy, Killick. Come back here. And turn and go rat form. And Killick transforms into a rat. Hit picks him up and he just pats him like a pet. Damn it, I keep hitting my microphone. He pats him like a pet.
So yes, so you're now presented with a small corridor leading into what looks to be another corridor leading off to the right.
I reckon we should get Kellick to go down and investigate.
Killick, spider form, and can you investigate? Hit sits on the ground and looks through Killick's eyes.
And Killick moves forward with Hit, you looking through his eyes.
Correct.
He indeed finds another small corridor leading down to the right, down a set of stairs. Stairs are probably about 15-20 feet to descend to what looks to be another long corridor heading to the east with a door at the end.
Het relays this, what he sees, to the team.
Guess we follow Collect down then.
Okay. Kalek will stay maybe 30 feet ahead of us. Is that good?
You're just gonna have to tell him to tell you if he sees something, because you won't be able to see it while we're moving.
Correct. That was my next sentence, was going to be someone is going to have to lead me, because I cannot walk or hear once I'm looking back through his eyes.
So you're gonna keep on looking through his eyes.
Yes, which you would have to lead me so I can tell you, but nonetheless.
Well, Fiala can lead you, and I'll just stay behind.
Fiala, would you do that?
I'll hold his hand and lead you. I'll hold your hand and lead you.
Okay, so you'll be moving a little slower because I mean, Het will be blind and deaf, so you won't be able to move quickly. But
Well, seeing how Kellick's in spider form, he probably would be triggering traps. So I'll check for traps along the way.
So you want to move forward ahead of everyone else, but behind Collect? Okay, so roll an investigation check for the first area and the stairwell.
12. I noticed nothing out of the...
As far as you know, there are no traps. So Collect moves forward. He moves back to the base of the stairs. Do the rest of you then follow behind Alessandros?
Correct.
Yeah.
Alessandros leading the way. Who's after Alessandros?
I've got a question, Matt.
It
Me
would be
and then...
Fiala then Het, I think.
Fiala then Het. And then...
I'll be behind Het.
Okay, and Anari bring out the... Oh, and Collect in front. Awesome. So you guys get to the base of the stairwell. You turn back towards the east. And you see a corridor now with, I dare say, Alessandro, you've still got your sword lit.
Yeah.
You see a 40-foot corridor with a door, just a single door at the opposite end.
There's Kalek at this door.
Collect will be at this door by now, yeah.
I'll check for traps going up to the door.
Investigation.
I don't notice anything. 15.
As far as you know, there's no traps.
15 is pretty good, though.
You're always going to get the same answer. As far as you know, there are no traps, regardless of whether you find them or not. unless you really roll high and you literally find a trap. As far as you know, there are no traps.
Exactly.
And Kalek
is at the door.
He spotted nothing extra on the way.
No, he did not.
I guess we move up to the door. Fiala, if you can lead me up there, or maybe I should just stop looking through his eyes.
I'll lead him up. I'll lead you up. And
You can't hear them yet, so you're not sure what they're saying anyway.
I can't hear, but I can see.
Well, you'd probably be able to hear through Collect, because Collect would be close enough that you could hear what he's hearing.
Okay.
I'm moving him up.
So you're all moving up to the doorway?
I'm going to try and check the door for traps.
Roll investigation.
Yay, 26. Nat 20.
Nat 20, guys.
Nice.
The door does not appear to be trapped. Check the handle, the hinges, all around the door frame, and it does not appear to be.
Is the door locked?
It doesn't appear to be locked, but it will not open either.
So when I go to open it, does it feel like it's barred on the other side? It's barred on the other side?
Which way are you trying to open it first? Inwards or outwards?
Both.
If you try pushing against it, nothing happens. But when you try and pull it inward, it opens freely.
Hit's detect magic is still up for now too.
It is, and Het does not
Nothing
detect
on the way.
anything.
Okay, good. Hit goes back to hit vision.
Head vision.
Head vision.
It goes back to hit vision.
Out of Kalik, yes, because Kalik's vision is normal and Hit has turbo vision in his usual self, so Hit is not comfortable in vision all the time. We will wait till we need Kalik again. Kalik, back to the void, and Kalik
Oof.
disappears.
Click just goes poof, disappears.
So with opening the door, I peek inside.
Peek inside, and what you see is a 20 bases, another corridor 20 feet long, and another door.
Check for traps to the door, and check the door.
Roll investigation for that whole space.
17.
17. You step forward, moving in to check for traps. You do indeed find one, as the floor gives way beneath your feet.
Crap!
And with your slow fall damage, you don't take bludgeoning damage, but you do need to roll a dex save for me.
Yes. Nat 20, 26.
26. This time you manage to avoid the large, this time metal spikes protruding from the base of this 30-foot drop. Your ring of slow falling stops you from taking bludgeoning damage as you hit the bottom of this thing, but you manage really well just to avoid impaling yourself on these large spikes. And Yayla, you were directly behind Alessandra. She would have seen her disappear into yet another pitfall.
Allie, you okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Oh. Do you need help getting out of there?
How,
Rope or something?
30 feet.
30 feet?
Ooh.
Ellie's way of discovering a trap. Step on it.
Way to go! Very good job.
So far, it's pretty foolproof every time you find one.
It is, isn't it? Wow.
You're doing well. You're doing really well.
Yeah. How many traps have I found so far? Just
All of them.
Just about all of them, I think.
I'm doing really well.
You're not finding them when you're looking for them. You're finding them when you step on them.
As long as it's not
Your
one of
point?
us, as long as it's not one of us squishy ones, it's probably a good thing.
I lower rope. I have a rope. I'll
Okay.
lower.
So you won't need to worry about checks for that. I mean, you guys, all of you will probably help. You retrieve poor Alessandros from yet another pitfall trap. This one does not reset, however, so you'll have to jump the gap, which is easily enough done. It's only a 10-foot gap. You're all relatively agile. And you are now all within a 10-foot space in front of another door. So it's a bit of a squeeze. One or two of you may have to sort of wait back across the gap until the door's open.
Check the door for traps.
Investigation. You realise everyone can check for traps too, guys. You don't need just a rogue. Just to reiterate that.
No, but it's safe.
It doesn't take any special skill. I mean, he
more
does
fun
get
to
his
watch.
proficiency bonus on top because it is a specialised skill, but everyone can do it.
All right, 23.
With that, again, the door is not trapped and is not locked.
Yeah, I'm used to old school D&D. The thief does it all.
I'll try in and out.
Again, you push the door, nothing happens. You pull it towards you, and it opens flat, almost completely flat against the wall. So, again, you're faced with pretty much the same area: 10 by 10 or 20 by 20 room corridor, 10 foot wide, 20 feet long, and another door.
So, do you guys want me to walk out in here, or do you want me to check for traps?
I think either way you're gonna find one. So
Yeah.
How's this? I'll check. If I don't find anything, I'll go in.
Sounds fair.
All right, check for traps.
Roll investigation.
14.
Well, another deck save, please.
oh no.
Hang on, I checked for traps. I didn't say I was going in yet.
You kind of have to go in to check for traps.
a deck save. Damn it. Nat 20! 26.
Hey.
Again, another nat 20. You get nat 20s when it counts.
I know!
Again, you managed to avoid the spikes at the bottom of yes, another pitfall at the other side of this door. This one has a few skeletons strewn across the bottom. One looks possibly elvish in nature, it's still got a bit of skin hanging on the bones. Another looks relatively fresh, a goblin. Looks like a goblin fighter of sorts.
How fresh.
Reasonably fresh, probably from... Alessandra should probably even be able to tell. It's probably no more than a few weeks old.
That's fresh.
Ellie, this is in the trap, right?
This is in the trap, yes.
Ellie, while you're down there, can you cut me a couple of steaks off that goblin?
You sure it's been down here a while?
It smells reasonably fresh.
No.
So with that, do you mind if it's a little bit seared?
Don't do it. We all have to smell his breath later. Yeah.
You need to smell his breath, not us.
How close were you planning on getting to him?
I had a beaver in my mouth.
Teach him language, okay?
Ah, that's what. Okay.
So, Head, do you mind if it's a little bit seared?
Well, yeah, I mean, raw is raw, not seared, right?
Well, I can't really cut and hold my sword at the same time.
Isn't that how you swing a sword, normally?
Yeah, but I
It
need to
is
see,
confused.
where I'm cutting, don't I?
Oh, head cast light.
Oh, my sword actually.
Sadiq's
lit
sword's
up.
lit up as well.
Oh, and Sadiq's is up anyway.
Okay, so how much did you want?
Just a couple of steaks.
All right, I do that.
Roll a medicine check to see where you're gonna, obviously to see where you're gonna cut the steaks from, for one, and to see how good. So roll if you're not proficient, roll at disadvantage.
You know, an art could hunt something for you. You know.
Yeah.
In here. Are you serious?
Nine.
She barely.
9.
Nine.
She's
Yeah,
barely
you
wearing
don't
any
really
clothes.
know too much about goblin anatomy. But you sort of look at it and go,
Oh,
fuck, I don't
no.
know. Sort of, you need to remove some of the clothing to get to his flesh, and you
Goblin
notice a
penis
piece.
steaks.
You notice a small book inside his shirt pocket. Do you
Just
take the
grab
book?
whatever sticks out, Allie. Good places
I-
to go.
Well, so I cut off what I think's a bit of steak.
Yep.
I pick up the book that fell.
Yep.
Now you said there was an elven skeleton.
Yeah.
Elvish. How?
It's
bad?
pretty bad. Like the only reason you can tell it's elvish, you can sort of see the remnants of a pointy ear. Pretty much it. It's in pretty bad state.
Can I get over to have a look at the corpse?
Yeah, but it's not a 30-foot down, but it's only like 10 by 10.
All right. Yeah, I examine the corpse, see if there's anything else I can find.
Rusty old short sword by the looks of it, nothing too flash. A broken bow, a few arrows, maybe 4 or 5 arrows that may be usable. This one looks like it's been here for a long time.
All right. And nothing else on the.
Nothing else.
That what was it again that I cut up?
Goblin.
The goblin.
Yeah, he had like goblin-sized chainmail on, which none of you better use. It's kind of worthless, I suppose. But he looked like he was few scars and stuff. So it looked like he'd seen a few battles. Definitely a well-weathered fighter.
I opened the book up, seeing I got light up above me.
You open it up, and the page that sort of falls open to is a quill inside the book as well, and it falls open to a page, and it looks like it's in common. Looks like it's a journal of sorts, and it just said top of the page, journal entry, 3 206. Top, and it reads, today I find myself at the bottom of a pitfall. With my companions dead, I'm unable to reach the edge. I fear I may perish here. If you are to find my corpse, please take this ring, and at the bottom of the page is a small gold ring which looks like it's been taped or stuck to it with a little bit of wax paper at the bottom of the page. Please take this ring to the city of Valond and find Meredith Pomerath, my wife. Please return her, so she at least knows that what happened. And at the bottom it's signed Tippin.
Is this ring glowing magic?
No, it is not.
I would imagine that my detector's getting close to running out anyway.
It would be getting pretty close, yeah.
All right, so you guys gonna help me out of this hole again?
Yeah, just throw the meat up here and whatever, and
Yeah, we'll do that.
I like the way that Fiona's kind of going for it.
So you take a bit of time, you retrieve Alexandros from yet another pitfall.
See,
Again,
I'm an awesome thief, aren't I?
again, you are now faced again with yet another door.
All right, so gonna check the door for traps again.
I think you're pretty much sorted. The doors are not trapped. They're not locked. You are able to open them, and when you open the third door, you're now faced with a corridor that goes 40 feet and then turns to the right.
So I'm gonna do something a little different this time.
Yes.
Gonna tie a rope around my waist.
Smart
Get
man.
someone to hold me.
some knee pads.
And check the
I'm pretty sure
floor.
Fiona needs knee pads.
Check the floor for traps.
Roll to check for traps on the floor in front of the door.
Before all this happens,
Yes.
how much does trash weigh?
Alexandros, how much do you weigh?
Hang on.
I don't think you weigh that much.
110.
Yeah, he's only small. She's only small.
I'm gonna actually tie the rope around Het and use Het
Wise
as,
choice. It is the
as
anchor.
because he's the most stockiest one out of us all.
To be nice, yes.
It allows you to. He understands what you are doing.
And that at the same time, I'm gonna hold the rope. So,
Okay.
You know,
Right, roll your check.
All right, rolling for check. 14.
You're not having much luck, are you? This time, the trap does trigger, but with your friends on a rope waiting for this to happen. This time you do not fall. However, they take the weight of the rope, and you sort of teeter on the edge, sort of leaning right over the edge. This time you see it's not spikes. However, as you're sort of leaning on quite a big angle. Sadiq, make a strength check at advantage just quickly. You're teetering forward on a nasty angle, and you see bubbling, boiling acid at the bottom of this, and the stench is hitting you in the face. I need to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Constitution?
Yes, please. So Sadiq, your strength check.
17.
17. You're fine.
20.
That's, no, 20. Dirty 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't get the effects of the fumes of this acid. It fills your nostrils and burns your eyes as you're sort of hovering over this space. And you guys take the weight of Alessandra quite nicely. She's not heavy. Alessandra says you sort of teeter there and you're sort of looking around going, oh my god. You notice as this trap triggered, however, it also triggered another trapdoor to your left, and you see another small narrow corridor leading to another small set of stairs immediately to your left through. And as they sort of pull you back to the ledge,
So, guys, I did notice a door to the left just past the trap, which looks even worse than the other ones.
I guess it was lucky that Sadiq tied you to me.
Yes, yes. Thank you, by the way.
All right, so wait a minute. We're on what side compared to what side is this little door at?
so you are facing the east down this corridor, and the door is to the new secret door that opened is to the south. The corridor is continuing leading off to the east, and then turns back to the north.
All right, so lower Alexandra's down so that she can go into this.
It's at the same level that you guys are at. So it's the same
okay.
level as the corridor, but it's immediately to the left as you sort of peer through the door. You can sort of see it. You'd be able to step across to it easily enough.
Right, we'll do that.
Yep.
So you all sort of step across the corner of this pit trap down the small corridor,
Yeah.
and it leads you.
We'll keep the rope tied to Alexandra.
That's a
for the
friggin'
moment.
good idea.
So you all sort of move forward slowly, and you reach into this corridor. You find yourselves descending another small staircase,
Checking the
and
traps.
heading towards the south. Roll investigation. You then get to a right-hand turn, which head back towards the east, down another small staircase. We'll just roll
24.
investigation. Doesn't appear to be any traps.
Keep going.
Make sure I'm on the right page. You now, where are you? I'll get everyone to make a perception check as you're moving through this part of the corridor as well.
Ten.
Gala?
12.
Hit.
22.
Anari. Anari's muted.
Right, Anari rolls.
Quickly, we're waiting on you. 6 seconds.
7.
And Sadiq.
15.
Thing. So, hit, you're the only one that notices. Especially because of the fact that the remnants of your detect magic spell is just starting to wear off. And as you sort of turn and walk down this corridor heading towards the stairs, you notice the remnants of a magical aura to your immediate left on the wall at the top of the stairs, just as it fades.
Oh. Just to my immediate left on the wall. And Head pulls out the compass. Click, click. There's some magical remnants just here. He holds the compass up like he's examining it. Head also investigates that wall while he's there.
Roll investigation.
That is a 5.
There's a 5. You don't really notice anything odd about the wall. It just looks like a wall, but you definitely know there's something magical there for sure.
Head was too busy trying to pretend he was scanning it with his fancy compass. I can't see anything other than there's definitely something magical here. Does anyone, one of you guys...
Would you like me to have a look, Kit?
That's a great idea, Ali. Head backs away from the wall a little, by 10 or 15 or 20 feet. still tied to Ellie though.
And Alexander's investigation.
19.
And you don't really find anything unusual about the wall either. It looks like a wall.
Okay. Yeah, you must be seeing stuff, Het. Can't see anything.
Are you calling me a liar?
It was play on lights or something like that.
No, 100% definitely there was magic there. I was
Yeah,
just.
and you would know it was abjuration magic.
It was definitely abjuration magic as well.
And what's that?
Well, it's magic that you abjure. I thought that was common knowledge.
I'm a thief, not a mage.
Oh. Good point. Hang on. It is magic that you abjure. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Sweet. Anyway, Head is going to run his hands over the wall and see, just through his knowledge of the arcane, if there's any glyphs or anything there.
Roll Arcana for me. I mean, you would definitely know magic. I mean, you would know with your magical skills that if it is indeed possibly a door of some sort, you would probably need to spell magic or something along those lines.
Yeah, 13 for that one.
So, pretty much, you know that abjuration is just that. It's one of those magical schools that uses like it's like a protection spell. It's designed to warding and magical barriers and such.
Did you just Google abjuration magic?
Yes, I did. I forgot what it was.
That's okay. I thought I heard you tip-tapping away. Yeah, definitely abjuration magic, guys, but I don't see any other way that I do not have anything that can affect this, I don't think. Maybe, does one of you other casters, I guess it's just you, Fiala, for the most part, have something that can maybe dispel or activate magic?
Hit, you would know that dispel magic or a remove curse would probably work in this instance.
Yes, possibly a remove curse too, Fiala, maybe.
All right. Fiala was spaced out looking at the wall. So
What a pretty wall that is.
No, that's Bash.
thinking about all that gold she lost. So I do not have any dispels that I remember I would have to rest. So I don't have anything right now.
Good to know. Were you guys marking stones earlier? Inari, someone was marking stones. Maybe we mark this section of wall.
So yeah, I'm just gonna put a circle with a question mark on it.
Okay. So you're going to continue to move forward?
What sort of rune is that?
Tis the rune of questioning.
So who's in the lead at this point? Heading down the second stairwell.
Ellie, then
Same as before. So
Ellie,
Ellie,
then me, Het,
Yeah.
then the other two behind them.
Okay.
And I've
Cool.
just got my hand lightly rested on the rope.
Right. So with that, as you move down the set of stairs, you now find yourselves in a 40-foot corridor, again about 10 feet wide. There's a door on the southern edge of this corridor towards the end. But as you all descend the stairwell into this sort of lower section of this room, I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
The old constipation saving throw.
Yep.
Ruh-roh.
That goes.
So, Alessandros, your roll, please.
I'm really good at these, by the way. 3.
3. Viola,
13.
13. Hit.
6. 6.
Anari.
3.
Oh wow. And Sadiq.
17.
So,
Come on.
Sadiq, you're the only one not affected by this. As you all descend into this lower chamber, a sense of dread and fear grips all of you, except for you, Sadiq, who manages to make the save. Alessandris, you get a sudden flash of Beth Morgan's face. The panic you felt when she discovered your true form and you having to end her life, that fear of being discovered just grips you all of a sudden. You are now frightened and in panic mode. Fiela, you are also feeling the same sense of dread and horror, the same feeling you had when you first came to Virgilia's hut, the sense of not knowing where you were or what was happening to you. Het, you are now gripped with that sense of dread and fear. Once again, the despair and the feelings of losing your family and things, just all comes to a head. Anari, you also have a very similar feeling.
Quick question.
Yes.
Sorry. Does it come under a charm type
No,
spell?
it does not.
Damn it.
You are affected. You now not being basically released from the Order's clutches, if you will, or the Order's sense of security. You are now panicked, not knowing what to do or where you should go or what to do. You are all just within your own heads, just terrified at this point. Sadiq, you notice the look of fear and unsureness on the faces of your comrades, not entirely sure what is going on.
Is everyone okay?
No.
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 I guess it's communal. So, this place, Het just sits down on the ground and puts his head in his hands.
I'm backing up the stairs a bit.
Alessandros, as you head towards the stairs, you need to make you will actually just turn and run. You'll make a dash action, moving your full 60 feet of movement back to the back to the door, across the pit trap, and you're now back at the door, which you are by the acid trap. And the moment you get out of the room, out of that area, the feeling seems to subside somewhat. Doesn't completely leave, but you seem to feel a little bit better. Hit, you're sitting down.
Actually, he would
Yes.
probably only get about 20 feet and then get
Oh, true.
yanked back down the road.
True. So you don't quite get out of the room. You're stuck at the top of the stairs, and you get yoinked. You get yoinked back, and are now sitting on your ass, still feeling frightened.
Okay, awesome.
Fiela and Anari, are you both moving or not moving? You're standing still.
I would probably kind of maybe back.
Back. You can't move forward. You all can only go back. So if you try to move, you will also dash. You will push past everybody and try and get out of there as quickly as possible. You're not sure why, but you just push past everybody. You dash through. You jump over the pit trap and through the doorway. And once you reach there, like I said, that feeling just subsides just slightly. Not 100%, but it's enough to make you sort of think, whoa, oh, wait, what the hell?
Okay.
Fiona, what are you doing?
In the huddle, whoever's closest to me, either it's Allie or it's Het or Sadiq.
Probably would have been Sadiq at this point, being the only one still
Like-
probably standing.
Hide behind Sadiq like this.
I
You
think
cowering
these guys
behind
have been
Sadiq?
Affected by something.
You can't, Sadiq, you can't see anything. You can't smell anything. It's very strange to you. Roll an intelligence check just to see if you can maybe determine what could be happening.
All of us?
16.
16. You know they're all definitely frightened of something. You sort of look around and you again, you can't taste or smell anything, but you're pretty certain that there's something here causing this condition, whether it's a gas or a spell. Something's causing them to be frightened. Obviously your constitution has allowed you to ward this feeling off, whatever reason.
Okay, come on, guys. We've got to keep on moving.
I don't want to.
No, Het also does not want to. Het sort of shimmies back on the floor against the wall furthest away in the room.
No.
Hit, the rope's tied to you, isn't he? The rope,
Correct.
yeah. So you use a rope. You are attached to Alessandros. So Alessandros,
Yeah,
you can't go
towards
anywhere.
Alessandros.
You can't go anywhere because Het is tied to you, and you're tied to Het. Sadiq had part of the rope as well. So
Yeah, no, I've only got my hand on it.
yeah, so you could make a strength check to try and stop them from moving, if you wish. I would get you also to make a persuasion check to, if you're going to say anything else to try and get them to stay. Anari's already gone, by the way. She's gone.
Persuasion check. Fucking 1.
A natural 1. Seriously?
No, I got a 2.
You got
-1, so got a 1.
yeah. So Het pulls free, pulls the rope from your hands, and starts backing away. Alessandro, seeing this, starts backing away also. Not fast, but just sort of backing out of the area.
This place, I've had
Seemingly
enough of this
frightened.
place.
Yeah, seemingly frightened of where you are.
It's just giving me bad memories, bad feelings. I'm sick of it. And Het slams the wall with his fist and starts moving back out the way towards where Anari was going.
What are you doing, Stick?
I guess I'm just gonna follow them out because like there's nothing we can do until they all gain control over whatever the fuck's wrong with them.
So with that, you all start moving out of the area,
Princess.
back to the top of the stairs. You sort of, as you get to the top of the stairs, everyone, that feeling starts to subside somewhat. Not 100%, but it definitely starts to feel different. You start having more control over your emotions as you sort of reach the top of the stairs out of this area.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, but it's funny how now you grow a set of walls.
Het is still feeling iffy. Otherwise, Het would ice blast you.
Anari still is not to be seen, guys. She's not in the room with you at this point.
Oh,
Where the hell did Nari go?
We better.
she doesn't have any balls either.
Anari, you can hear them talking. Like you're sort of just out of the area. You can hear them talking from you.
Guys,
You okay?
Yeah,
Nari?
okay.
back here.
I don't know that I want to. I'm
Yeah, I
starting
think-
to feel better.
You are feeling better, but you know there's something
freaking
wrong.
you guys out down there. I don't know what it is, but
Oh, yeah.
All of you can make an intelligence check to try and determine what possibly is causing it. If you wish. Sadiq, you can't because you already have and you failed. And you got no clue.
18.
18?
That would be a 3 on my part.
13.
13? And Fiona?
That one.
That one. You don't know fuck all. Het and Anari, however, and Alessandros. What did you roll, Hanari, sorry?
A 3?
No, you don't know shit either. But
so-
Yayla and Het and Alessandros. Oh, I'm getting confused. You, Het, think it's possibly magical. a magical frighten spell or a fear spell of some description. Alessandros, do you think it could be, with your knowledges of gases, poisons, do you think it might be a type of gas maybe, which you know that type of gas used to instill that type of fear in someone is tasteless, sightless, and has no smell.
Well, it's possible this could be magical origin.
Yeah, it could be gas. I know there's gases out there.
I haven't eaten the steaks yet, but
I've got the feeling it's not that type of gas.
I'm starting to get a clearer head, but is it going to react when we get back into space? Maybe I go down alone and see if it affects me. Any other ideas?
Maybe send Collect to find a source of gas?
Yeah, because he can travel, what, 150 feet from you?
He can travel as far as he wants away from me. It's just I lose connection with him after about that, yes. Okay, I shall...
At the same time, it'll be interesting to see if he's actually affected by whatever the hell scared the rest of you.
That's a good point. Het calls Collect from the void again. And as an imp, he will just fly on down there. I will go into his eyes and see what he sees.
Impo vision activated.
Impo vision.
So Hit's eyes roll back whiter than usual, and he can no longer hear or see. What Collect does see, you move down. Collect moves down, sort of floats down the corridor. Doesn't seem to have that same sense of dread that you felt in there. Looks around the room, looks around the corridor, sees the door, just a simple door, and doesn't seem to be affected the same way.
Can I get Collect to do a once around looking for ports or exit holes or something that the gas may come from?
Okay, roll investigation. Well, you use your stats because you're looking through his eyes.
Nine.
Looks around. It doesn't seem to be anything that stands out to him, or stands out to you even. There's nothing there that would suggest that the gas has been pumped in from somewhere. The gas or anything that it doesn't look like there's anything. Like, no ports, no glyphs anywhere that would suggest a magical origin that you can see. Not sure.
It sort of relays that to the team. Basically, I cannot see through. I mean, Collect, we can't see anything. There's nothing to give away any of this. What could have gone on? I do not know. I'm sorry.
Well, you tried.
He can't hear you, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Het pulls out of Collect's mind after that.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would. But
If we were using the ring of sending, would he still be able to hear us?
Collect doesn't have an earring on.
No, but Het does.
Yeah, but it's the sending spell. The earrings work slightly different than the sending spell. They put the message into your ear rather than your head.
Oh, okay.
That's why the earring. Why I made it that way. So it's like someone whispering into your ear when you're talking, or talking directly into you.
That's okay. Het dropped out of Collect's mind, and yeah, he is shaking his head, saying, "I do not know. I am sorry."
Right, what are we doing, chaps?
Het is just going to walk in there and see if it affects him again.
Okay.
Het walks in.
It walks in. You get to the base of the stairs. You look around. Nothing seems to really happen. Don't seem that dread hasn't returned. Hasn't completely gone either, but it hasn't returned.
It seems to not be doing anything this time. It calls back.
Should we make a run for it and do it?
Well, sounds like it's.
Who's typing in Discord?
That was me getting something.
I can hear it beeping.
Yeah, I guess
Alright.
we'll try again.
Try again.
Try again. Go down there.
Do you all
see
move
what's going
forward?
on.
Sadiq, make a Constitution saving throw for me. Everyone else, you feel fine.
17 again.
Then again. Once again, you feel it just on the edge of your mind. Just something tries to grab hold of your mind, and then you just it doesn't take full effect. But everyone else, you seem like that sense of dread hasn't completely left you, but it's not getting anywhere.
Well, I guess at least whatever it is seems to be gone.
Where you can only be affected by it once.
I'm going in. I'm going in.
She's going in.
Going in,
Going in.
you're going to check the door.
Yeah.
Right
It
behind
is
you.
locked.
Shit.
You check the door and it does not budge.
Both ways.
Both ways.
Uh,
Ellie! You are up.
So what am I doing for this one?
Unlocking of the door?
Yeah, I'm locking the door.
Rogue.
That's what am I using? What's my stats? Forgotten?
Dexterity plus proficiency.
Ah. Yeah, that door's not unlocking anytime soon.
Oh.
What'd you roll? What'd you roll?
4.
Your proficiency's 4. You should have rolled higher than that.
Oh, 8 then.
Holy shit, man!
I
Question
forgot.
is
It's,
all the
it's a
other ones that
D20
he's
plus your
been-
dexterity plus your proficiency. So what'd you roll on your D20?
4.
So what's your dexterity?
Oh, plus the dexterity.
Yes.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. What's your
I rolled it.
modifier? What's your modifier on your dexterity, dude?
2.
So it's 6 plus 4 is a 10.
No, I rolled a 2.
Oh, you rolled a 2. You said you rolled a 4.
No, that's
Jesus.
what the-
Can I assist? Like hold his lock?
No, you
picking
can't.
kit or
You can't.
something?
You can't assist.
Shine a flash.
Actually, no. Trash. What'd you roll on your D20 or 2?
Yes.
So sleight of hand is what you want to add to that. Your thief skills. That'll be 8 plus 4, 12. So whenever you do a lock picking, it's plus your sleight of hand.
Yep.
So it'll be 12. So it does unlock. No, it's just a simple lock. But you open the door, and the moment you open the door, you all of you sort of, as the door swings open out inwards, the doorway blocked. It seems to be stairs leading down, but about 2-3 steps down, it's blocked with thick webbing, like from ceiling to floor across both walls. You can sort of see through it, but it's very, very thick.
So if I use my sword with the flame, that'll burn it away?
You could give it a shot.
Yeah, do that.
So you want to attack it with your sword. You don't need to roll to hit, it's right there. So you slash forward with your flaming sword. Roll damage for me. What's your weapon damage, sorry? Just a straight weapon damage.
Straight weapon damage is... Do you want the with the fire as
Just
well?
the dice damage of the weapon.
It's 8d8.
Yeah. So, and the fire damage normally is what, plus 2?
2 plus 6. 2d6, sorry.
2d6. Roll the 2d6 for me. Just the fire damage.
That would be 10.
10. So yeah, but you seem to burn away a portion of these webs. Doesn't get rid of it all, but the fire definitely has an effect. And you manage to burn through a portion. Swing again.
Yep.
Once again, we'll just use the same damage. Swing through and the fire damage. It takes you 2 or 3, 4 swings. You manage to burn away this thick webbing that seems blocking this. Are you moving into the room down the stairs?
The bodies say no, don't, but mine says yes. We'll carry on.
So, can we get a marching order? Whoever's moving into this room. Alessandros is first.
Me.
Bella after Alessandros. Who's next?
Then hit.
Hit. I'll go last.
Last. So hit and Ari, then Sadiq.
Yeah.
Do I still have that rope attached to me?
You haven't untied it, so yes.
So awesome. Just making sure.
So yeah. So as you move down the stairs into what looks like a chamber of sorts, lying on the floor at the bottom of the stairs is an iron mace inlaid with silver. South of this location in this modest room, what you see is filled with rotting and decaying furniture.
Area still covered in web.
No, not really. There's a few sort of cobwebs. It looks old. There's cobwebs and that hanging around the room. Some old rotting furniture in the room as well. A sort of rotting couch of sorts. Basically, the couch is solid gold though. However, there's a skeletal figure lying across this couch. Almost looks like a lich, but it looks like it's been long dead. Wearing a crown. Not moving. But that's pretty much what you see.
That's got to be a throne, right?
How big was the room again?
The room is 20 by 20.
So what's my amulet doing?
Not a whole lot at the moment.
So it's not glowing at all?
Nope.
Okay. Go in and investigate the throne, I guess.
And Fiala, we can't take the throne.
I think was it a
It's
throne or
a couch. It's a couch.
It's a
Couch.
It's a
cone.
golden
It's
golden
like a
couch.
cone.
It's a
No,
golden
we
couch.
We can't take
It's
the
a cone.
couch.
He's not on the toilet.
So you step forward. You look around the room. You several look at the couch. It's just an old. It's rotting. It's golden in color, but it's old and rotted, and the skeleton is sort of laid out like it was sort of lying there. But one arm sort of dangling down onto the floor, the other one sort of draped over the back like he was lounging and possibly have died there. Wearing a golden crown on his head. Robes that look like they've started to rot away as well. It's been here for a long time.
Hit unties the rope from around his waist and
Yes.
backs up.
Duly noted.
The crown.
No.
There is the iron mace right in the center of the room too, by the way.
I'm not touching the damn thing.
Fiala, if we get out of here alive, I will make you and purchase you your own crown. Just leave this one alone. Please.
Right.
Okay.
What's
I like amethyst. So you
What's
know.
everyone doing? I'll give everyone 6 seconds to tell me what they're doing, and then we're going to call it. So, what are we doing?
Untying the rope and keeping a wide berth of the mace and the person lying down.
Okay. We'll get a slight position in the room before we do anything else. So Sadiq's moved forward towards the couch.
Yeah, I'm investigating the couch.
Hit's backed up towards the stairs.
Yes, as close to the bottom of the stairs as he can.
Where is Alessandros in relation to Sadiq and Hit?
Left side of Sadiq.
Okay. And Fiala, where are you?
I'm next to Sadiq,
Inching towards the
looking
crown.
at the crown. Just looking.
Okay. You're right next to Sadiq. And Anari, where are you?
I'm next to Fiala.
Speak up.
Oh, I'm next to Fiala holding on to her.
Pulling her back.
Right. And with that, we'll call it there, and we'll pick up there next session, guys. Will they touch anything?
I'm not testing what you
No,
do.
they bloody won't.
You never know. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining us tonight again for the return session of Paradigm. I hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, hopefully I'll have my teeth in. I might sound a little bit better. Might sound worse, who knows? But we will pick this up again next week. Thursday morning, we're back with Curse of Strahd, the first return show of Curse of Strahd campaign. Back in with some gaming this week as well. But thank you all. Appreciate it. Team, another great show. Thank you very much. The dragon fella down there. Cool mask. Well done. Looks awesome. Great show, guys. So we will see you when we see you. Like I say, tomorrow night I'll be back with some gaming. I'm not sure what game just yet, but we'll be back with some gaming. Monday to Friday, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. We'll be gaming every week. Like I say, Thursday mornings will be the Curse of Strahd. Friday mornings I'll be doing the podcast with Malice over on his channel. And every second Saturday morning, 12 o'clock lunchtime, I'll be doing the Roaming Self podcast with Malice as well, which is a more serious podcast, talking about more serious things that are sort of happening in the world. But that's only an hour long, so it's not too bad. You meant to be in bed an hour ago? Well, glad we can keep you awake, but you go to bed. Drax, cheers for hanging out with us, buddy. I appreciate it. And with that, we'll say goodnight. We probably should raid, actually. Who should we raid? Guys, let's see who's online. Who is online? We've got Duke of Flukes. Who is on? We've got Miss Z. We've got Molten Llama. We've got Scourge. Got any other D&Ders online? Lost Chapters isn't online at the moment. They've reduced their content a little bit.
Yeah, they got issues.
Gio's streaming.
Is she still streaming? No, she's finished.
Oh, she's online. Me.
Yeah, no, she's still finished. She finished a while ago.
Okay.
I think we'll look at maybe.
What about Friendly here? They're Dungeons and Dragons.
Are they still streaming?
No, it looks like they're in my live list.
I was following them. I know they got a bit weird. Their sessions were getting strange.
Oh, okay.
We'll raid Scourge TV.
Okay. I think I need to follow Scourge, to be honest.
Yeah, he's splitting his content. So he's sort of here and on Trovo Live, Trovo.live. But he's doing content on both just to sort of offset stuff. Former Mixer partner. Been sort of fucked up by all the bullshit that's happened over there. But Scourge on TV. On TTV, I believe. See if that's, yep, that's the right one. So join that raid, guys. Go check out Scourge, chuck him a follow, show him some support. And we will see you guys tomorrow for some gaming.
Bye.
Now I gotta find out where my thanks is. There it is.